It's time for Twit This Week at Tech. Father Robert's here, Jeff Jarvis, Joey DeVilla. We are going to talk about the IPO Palooza from Anthropic, SpaceX, and OpenAI, NVIDIA's announcements at Computex, Microsoft's announcements at Build, and what Apple might be talking about tomorrow. This Week in Tech is next.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twit, This Week in Tech, episode 1087, recorded Sunday, June 7th, 2026. Evil is the root of all money. It's time for Twit, This Week in Tech, the show where we cover the week's tech news. So glad you're here, and so glad to welcome our fabulous panel this week. Father Robert Balacer is joining us from the Vatican City. Hello. Actually, you're not in Vatican City, are you?
No. Vatican City's behind me. We're in the Vatican, but Vatican City is a very specific space.
So confusing. High atop, looking down on St. Peter's Basilica or something.
Indeed.
I don't know. Anyway, welcome, Robert. What time is it?
Oh, it's 11 o'clock, but I
Okay.
mean, really, I'm back in California. That's where my heart is.
Yeah, you're in California time. Good. Where it's just, 2 p.m. Also with us, Jeff Jarvis. He's on the East Coast in beautiful New Jersey. Normally, we see him every Wednesday on Intelligent Machines, but it's nice to have you on the, as
Great
you
to be
call
on the
it,
grown-ups table.
the grown-ups table. Jeff, Professor Emeritus of Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Oh, I forgot. We don't have to do that anymore.
Craig.
That's another one. I don't even know that one.
That's a new one.
His brand new book, Hot Type, which is the history of the linotype and more, emerges from seclusion.
I just finished
in August.
recording the audiobook this last week.
You don't sound hoarse at all.
I did it in 3 days.
Yeah.
300 pages in 3 days.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And that's Joey DeVilla. Good to see him.
Yay!
You've seen
Hey,
him
good to be
on
here.
many of our shows. He has a new job as AI developer advocate at, just developer advocate. At
Developer advocate, but
developer advocate at
but my
NetFoundry.
primary, I'm really pushing NetFoundry's new AI tools. So little gateways for LLMs and MCPs and ways for agents to talk to other agents securely.
NetFoundry was a longtime sponsor on our shows. We love them. They're, of course, the creators and sponsors of the fabulous open source project OpenZT. Great to see you, and congratulations on the new gig, Joey.
Thank you so much.
Do they let you bring your accordion to work?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I believe I played my accordion during the job interview.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And you got
I
the job.
can't do that.
Wow. That's fantastic.
What did you play?
Oh, my Afro Man
Spain?
parody, Because of AI.
Oh, nice.
Because of AI.
Okay.
Because of AI. You'll find that on YouTube. It's a YouTube short. I love it. Well, what a crazy week this has been. I guess we should start with, I don't know where to start. The week started with Computex and Jensen Huang from NVIDIA speaking at his keynote at Computex in Taiwan and announcing a whole bunch of stuff. Next day, Microsoft's Build conference announcing a whole bunch of stuff. And then Anthropic filed for, what briefly Wired called the largest IPO ever, immediately scooped by SpaceX, which is going to be the largest IPO ever. They are looking at a $135 per share price.
Largest by a factor of 3.
The next biggest one was Saudi Aramco, but it was a third this size. This would value SpaceX at a whopping $1.77 trillion.
Is that all? Really?
Somebody did some calculations and said it's going to have to meet that value. It's going to have to make I forgot what it was. I wish I'd written it down. Some outrageous
60x. It's 60x of their current revenue.
It's a huge amount of money.
Is there even that much money out there?
Well,
I mean, yeah, if the tech companies keep trading between themselves, they just sort of have an endless supply. So
sure, making it up.
It's
But Joey, you're right. You add in SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google's surprise entry of an $80 billion raise.
Explain that, because Google's already public, but we're seeing companies that are already public file for secondary.
Right. So they're going for $80 billion, $10 billion of which is going to Berkshire Hathaway, which is a big deal because Berkshire Hathaway, under its old management, what's his name? We forget so soon, wasn't big in technology stocks.
You mean the Wizard of Omaha?
Of Omaha. And so Google has at least twice that in cash on hand, plus credit up the yin-yang. Who's not going to loan to Google? But
Is it a loan or is it a stock issue?
it's a stock issue. It's a stock issue.
Does it dilute the existing?
Yes, it
stock?
does. The stock went down as a result for a few days. Well, then everything went down because of Broadcom. But they're saying we're going to invest upon investing. We're going to beat everybody here. It was an aggressive move by Google.
And of course, what they're doing is raising money to build data centers, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is all
Anybody
about
lets
that.
them build them anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, that's what everybody's doing at this point. Meta's stock took a big hit when they announced in their quarterly results they were going to spend a huge amount. Google actually said they were going to spend, I think, $180 billion on data centers. And that didn't hurt their stock. Amazon announced a similar figure. I mean, do we need all these data centers? It feels, this is making it feel more bubbly all the time. And I'm not a big proponent of the AI bubble story, but boy, it's starting to feel like that.
Look at what they've already spent. You've got Amazon, who is close to 300 billion already. It's 291 billion that they've invested into AI. You've got Alphabet. You've got Google going with 262 billion. Meta is something like 227. You've got XAI that spent $20 billion just to build out their AI infrastructure, and they're basically just renting out the raw capacity to Anthropic and now to Google. So yes, they will build them. Yes, they will use them, but whether or not they're going to make money off of them, that's a huge unknown.
But there is some question of whether they'll be able to build them. We're starting to see data center bans now.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this in Canada, Joey? Are people revolting?
Don't know, actually, because I'm operating out of Tampa.
Oh,
Florida. I do visit Toronto on occasion. I have not, from my friends, I haven't heard much, but they haven't talked much about building data centers in Canada yet. But you know what? It's cold there. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of hydropower. I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
Of course, Utah is suing Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary over his massive data center.
Mega massive, right? I mean, it's just
He's actually agreed to scale it down, but
has he? Okay.
to some, is he wearing a chain?
He has been dressing really weirdly lately. Yeah.
He's
what is he
He's a
wearing?
case. He's a head case.
Okay.
Larry.
I just noticed that picture in this NBC News report. Okay. Anyway, I think there's some question whether these data centers will even be built, right? Or no?
Leo, is it like the overbuild in fiber back in the day? In the early part of the century,
Right.
is it an overbuild? But is it an overbuild that will end up being used, or is it an overbuild that won't be being used because things just get more efficient? There's new paradigms. There's not as much use as we thought. The latter?
Absolutely the latter. I mean, when you had the build out of telecom infrastructure, when it went dark because those companies went under, you were able to buy it for pennies on the dollar, but you could use the same fiber. So the expensive part persisted. You could continue that into a future investment. When these data centers are no longer being used, and that's coming up very, very fast, they're useless. For example, XAI's $20 billion build out, they use the previous generation NVIDIA chips, which have already been surpassed by Vera Rubin. Now you might say, well, they'll just keep using the old chips, except Vera Rubin is so much more efficient than the old chips that it's you're going to get to a point where it's no longer economically feasible to keep running them and using up all that power when you could get 2x, 3x performance from the new chips.
Really good point, Padre.
Here's a report from Janice Henderson. Analysts say that the key risk of the data center story is under delivery, and they have some numbers to back it up. The promised delivery by 2030 is 157 gigawatts the total expected by 2030, 54% of the total. So,
So maybe it's not an overbuild then. Maybe
it may not be an overbuild.
We're slow.
Yeah.
Well, most of the places
Power
that
is part of
dropping
the
these
problem.
data centers, you can't get power. So
Yeah.
you're going to be independently generating your own power with portable turbines, which are not super efficient, which are really bad for water usage. And
gas.
Basically, it hits your economics.
Yeah.
Well, it won't matter, folks, because Anthropic has just said we have to stop.
Oh, I knew Jeff would somehow steer that into the conversation as quickly as possible.
We'll get
this
to
was
that later, I'll bet. We'll get to that later.
Well, we can do it now. I don't mind. It's an interesting story. It's more interesting, frankly, than the data centers. Anthropic put out a piece when AI builds itself, claiming that they are making great progress towards recursive self-improvement. Now, this in some respects is the holy grail towards artificial general intelligence, is an AI that improves itself so fast that it outpaces humans.
And this is based on basically saying our coders are getting a lot more done, so it has to be on the way.
They say, this is from the Anthropic paper, engineers at Anthropic ship 8 times as much code per quarter as they did in 2021, 2025. I mean, is it good code? Is it usable code? I don't know.
8 times as many bugs, maybe. Who knows?
They say 80% of Claude is now vibe coded. I believe that, especially with the release cadence of these. And maybe that's the data point that maybe confirms this opinion, is that all of the main AI companies are releasing models at a rapid clip. At least the ones in the US. DeepSeek, isn't moving that fast. It took a year. But both OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, even Microsoft are shipping models very, very rapidly, more rapidly, right? The cadence is stepped up. As of May 2026, according to Anthropic, more than 80% of the code we merge into Anthropic's code base was authored by Claude. Before February 2025, that number was in the low single digits. So they say, and here's the graph, code contributed per person by quarter. This is the 8X. And Mythos is the most recent model, and that's where the 8X is really showing itself.
And they extrapolate from that to self.
Yeah. Is that a good metric? Because I remember when companies started looking at how many commits you make. Elon Musk was famous for that. I want to know how many commits you've made to the repository. Well, people just started committing everything. Every little change was a commit. So I need to know how you're actually measuring the code contributions before I would agree that it's improving your code base.
Well, here's what they call the success rate for each Claude code session. Open-ended problems is the bottom line, the dark blue line, and that was a pretty low success rate, hovering below 20% until December of 2025. What happened in December? Oh, that's when Opus 4.6.4.5 came out, and it's been soaring ever since. And Mythos is this jump here. So now open-ended problems are being solved at a rate well above 70%. You're seeing similar things with trivial tasks, routine tasks, and substantial tasks. All three of those are over 80% success.
But that too is a moving target. So how do you, percent of what?
The session is deemed successful if the Claude Code agent clearly succeeded at the user's tasks. And this is important, without requiring correction. So that's the idea, that it can do this by itself. If it can do it by itself, the theory is, then it can do it at
stop us before we kill again.
Non-human
Self-improvement at scale.
At scale.
I'm still not super convinced on that. I'm sure it's coming. I don't think we've got it.
Well, and that's why they say we're getting close enough now that we really ought to think of pausing. We're not going to do it, but if everybody
once we have
agreed,
our IPO in, we're going to pull the ladder up behind us and tell everybody to stop.
Well, and even if you did, that the Chinese are rushing as fast as they can to keep up,
right,
and catch up. They're not there
I'll go
yet.
back to the quote from Intelligent Machines that I used from Charlie Munger of Berkshire Hathaway, who said, "Show me your incentives and I will tell you your outcomes." The incentive right now is to be the first. There is no prize for second place. You have the first fully functional model. Well, everyone's going to race to that. And saying pause doesn't match the incentive. So that's not going to be the outcome.
Every time I think Anthropic, because there's still doomers there. There's still kind of test girl people there. But then they do amazing work, and they come out with Claude. They seduce Leo Laporte, who's a smart guy, and he marries Claudette, and they do some phenomenal things, and they're just great. And then they come out with this kind of stuff that makes me say, well, no.
Mythos, which was the one that everybody said, oh, that's just, marketing. Anthropic said, we're not going to release this to the public because it's just too good, and it's really good at finding flaws. It's actually really good. Turns out to be really good at finding flaws. Did they oversell it, Father Robert?
They did not. It is extremely good. If you're a security professional and the first time you get your hands on Mythos, it will make you have a lot of self-reflection about your chosen career. Honestly, seriously.
Yeah. As in you're not needed? Or as in you've been doing a bad job all these years?
No, it's just that when you've got a piece of software, you've got a service that can do in a few minutes what used to take you days and weeks. That's hard. And I mean, it's not a script kiddie tool. This is not just hammering and looking for vulnerabilities. This is an intelligent tool that is using the corpus of knowledge that came before it in order to find potential flaws in softwares and services. That's incredible. That's exceptional.
It's a very weird world we live in where I think it's simultaneously true that AI is oversold, undersold.
Yes.
Is close to conscious, is just spicy autocorrect. All of this seems to be true at the same time. It's like 7 blind men and an elephant. That old,
I think
fable.
that disparity can be explained by if you have a specific use case for an LLM, it's great.
Yeah,
it's perfect. It does that function. It does that feature extremely well. The problem is when people oversell it is when they start saying, oh, it's going to change everything. That you're going to have one super incredible model that's suddenly going to take over the world and it will do everything. That's overselling it. But if you limit the scope and you say, I want to make the best security scanner possible, then yes, you can do some amazing things with an LLM.
I just read an essay in Die Zeit saying that we need to redefine what it means to progress and progression, as happened in the Industrial Revolution. And one interesting little aside it made was, and I don't know if I haven't thought this through yet, but basically saying that every technology before was given a specific task.
Yes.
And that's I mean, I could argue that the printing press was because it would just printed. It wasn't because it could print anything. So it's a general machine too. But in this case, and this is part of Jan LeCun's argument, is that he thinks that models will be specific to a task, and you can turn them on and turn them off whether they got to that task. That's why they're not going to be dangerous. But LLMs are dangerous because they're not given a task. They're given this role to mimic us, and then God knows what happens.
Yeah. And you have to remember that during the Industrial Revolution, the reason why there was so much societal change, and actually I'll use Jeff's example, the printing press caused so much societal change that people did not expect in my world because it made it possible for everyone to have a copy of the Bible. Yeah. Right. Those were texts that were previously restricted to priests, bishops, and higher, and suddenly everyone could have a copy.
It caused a few wars, as I remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it caused an upheaval in society because you suddenly took something that was scarce and you made it free, essentially free.
Well, in the case of Luther, it wasn't because it was thick things. It was because he made little 8-page pamphlets.
Yeah,
schriften, right? And that's
but it was also translating into the vernacular.
It was his choice to use it to speak in German, to write in German,
right, as opposed to Latin.
That was a specific purpose, a specific thing that they did with the printing press that caused that change. You can do the same thing with an LLM, but again, you have to have that specific purpose. Right now, you've got so many companies that are just rushing to build the all-in-one LLM, the all-in-one model. It sounds good. It's going to sell stock, but that's not really where you're going to find its utility.
And you're going to get quicker to your goal if you have specified that goal than if you try to make the general everything machine.
Correct.
To that point, the Financial Times today leaked OpenAI plots biggest chat GPT overhaul
Oh my.
since launch.
They're racing.
This is part of course, their race to IPO as well.
Yes.
Let me read the text from the Financial Times. This is Christina Criddle writing. The company intends to transform the ChatGPT chatbot into a super app. Where have we heard that before?
Like X?
That combines coding tools and AI agents, adding products that executives believe will generate more revenue. And this is going to be given to normal people, right? The change, which will give greater prominence and resources to Codex, their coding product, reflect a growing conviction within the company that the future of AI lies not in chatbots that answer questions, but in agents that perform tasks for users. They quote one senior OpenAI employee saying, "Chat is dead." You have to rename ChatGPT. Oh no!
Have to see, but this fascination with a one super thing. Actually, we have had engineers talk about this before. So what I'm talking about right now is nothing original to me. Originally, when people were talking about having machinery in the home, everybody was thinking, you know what, we'll have one giant electric motor in your house, and through a series of pulleys and gears, you could direct that mechanical energy to other tasks, but it would all run off this singular pulley. And that's not actually the case. If the classic engineering exercise these days is go and count the number of electric motors in your house. And
Although, in the earliest days of the Industrial Revolution, that's exactly what they did, right?
Yeah,
They would have.
but then they broke it apart.
When Harper and Brothers burned down in the 1850s, they then rebuilt with a huge steam engine in a courtyard where it wouldn't burn everything this time. And they went up through, I think, 8 floors and ran everything. It ran the elevator, it ran the printing presses, it ran the presses that got the impact out of the paper, it ran the saw to put the holes in to do binding.
So what happened that they decided to decouple and
electricity.
Electricity, because
Electricity.
It's easy to have
The
a bunch of
linotypes
small-
were at first run on that kind of pulley steam power. And when the fact that electricity came along, they could put them on their own electric motors, that made the huge change. Then you could put them anywhere.
Yeah, because the electrical energy, it's very easy to wire up a place. It's a lot harder to pulley up and gear up a place.
So I'm going to submit something that I've been thinking about. I sent Jeff and Steve Gibson and other people Jeffrey Hinton's talk.
Oh boy, here we go.
He said something interesting that got me really thinking. He said that analog, like our brains, is good because it's low energy. It doesn't have to be super accurate. It makes up for accuracy with parallelism. Our brains are massively parallel. But if you can apply a lot of power digital, you need to apply a lot of power to make it the distinction between ones and zeros so clear that there's never any ambiguity. That's what analog can't do very well. So once you can apply massive power to this, then digital has some real advantages. For instance, he said all of our neurons are different. He said, give it up, Ray Kurzweil. You're not going to be able to copy your brain into a digital machine because we are so analog that each machine is different. He says Hinton says, I thought we could build an analog transformer. I tried, but we couldn't. He says the advantage digital has is they're all the same. And so all the learning from one AI can be transferred to another and another. One transformer can move to another. And
he said that makes software immortal.
It makes it and infinitely faster. And now this is what I was thinking in the middle of the night last night as an analog to that. Many people prefer records, vinyl records. Sound is really just variations in air pressure, that our ears can pick up with our eardrums and translate into something that our brain then can understand. It's all analog, all from beginning to end. My voice going to your ears into your brain. It's all analog. But we figured out, thanks to Shannon's law, that you can slice up those waveforms. And if you slice them infinitely or sufficiently, not infinitely, but it's sufficiently thinly, those waveforms can be represented digitally and be indistinguishable from the waveforms. And that actually transformed how we listen to music, how we share music. I mean, when the MP3 came out, it completely disrupted the music industry, the audio industry. I'm speaking to you digitally now. There's no way we could be doing what we're doing if I had to shout and your ears had to perceive it. Father Robert's in Rome, but in almost because bits can move at light speed, unlike sound, and they can move infinitely far thanks to immense amounts of power being applied to them. We can do things that we couldn't do with analog. And I wonder if that's a similar that analogy holds when it comes to analog brains versus digital AI. I think that's what Hinton was implying. Hinton is another one of the doomers who says we're going to have problems because it's going to be so much faster.
Well, Hinton takes a bunch of leaps off a bunch of high dive.
Well, one thing he says, which I don't know how we'd even know this, is that let's assume you could get really super smart AIs. Would they really want to kill us? I mean, I don't know. Well, I've asked Ray Kurzweil that. He says, no, we're their parents.
He jumps off. He first says that they clearly understand. Well, without understanding the word understanding.
Oh yeah.
And just because they use various characteristics of words, features of words, and can put them together into an interlocking puzzle, that doesn't mean understanding. Then he says, but my argument is, if they could understand, they would also understand truth versus falsity, and it'd be easy to make them stop hallucinating. But they don't. But then he says that they have a motive, which presumes consciousness, to lie to him, which again presumes that they know what truth and falsity is. And if they do know, then why can't we fix this before? So he then makes all those leaps to say, well, of course it's conscious. Of course it is. And I don't go there.
Well, here's the problem. We don't know what conscious means. We don't even know what understanding means.
Right.
We don't have a good definition of either. His contention, I would say this is why I mentioned the CDs versus vinyl, is if you can't tell the difference, then what does it matter, right? The music coming out of a CD sounds exactly like an analog recording. It's not. It's sampled. It's digital. It's ones and zeros.
44.1 thousand times a second.
Right.
Yeah, because basically Shannon's law says you need to sample at twice the frequency, and the upper end of human hearing is 20 kilohertz.
Exactly. So if you get 41.1,
yeah, you should be able to capture everything that
we can debate
that humans hear.
I think it's a similar debate because there are people who say, no, I can feel the
But what we
warmth.
present
I
when
can
we
feel
talk.
the emotion in vinyl music.
Okay.
It's real.
I got to chime in here, Leo. But because with a good enough sound system, you can tell. With a good enough sound system, you can tell. Even you can tell.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
So, okay, I'm not going to debate that. I completely accept that you can hear it. I would say it's very similar in the sense that there are those of us who say, well, if you can't tell, Hinton's entire thesis is based on the idea that a transformer is creating these neural networks, creating relationships between concepts and words that are effectively what we do as humans. That is understanding. And he says, but we as humans don't want to accept the fact that we like to think that what we're doing is special, whether it's listening to analog music or whether it's thinking. And he says, and this is my contention, I don't know what understanding is. I don't know what consciousness is. We don't have a good definition for that. My only contention is if you can't tell the difference, it's fair to move forward as if it is learning and
But the issue, Leo, I've been thinking about this because you do make this contention. And what we present when we speak to each other is but a small part of what we are. It is a reduction to speech. And there's so much more going on.
Do you think in words, Jeff?
What?
Do you think in words?
Yeah, but I would love to know what it was like, what an animal was like, what it was like before it.
I don't think animals think. And I don't think animals know that tomorrow is
when
another
you see
day.
a cat trying to plot against you.
I think a lot of what they're doing is instinctive, not
Can I provide a counterpoint?
Yes.
So
you'd be the right guy to do this because of your faith.
I understand the view of the transformer model. So if you can digitally sample something in the real world, you can basically represent it in 100% accuracy as many times as you want. I would argue that that is precisely the reason why you can't have a transformer model with true consciousness. True consciousness is not just the representation and the recreation of facts and information. True consciousness also allows for the thought process itself to, we'll call it, mutate. The wonderful thing about the analog world and the analog brain is that you get lateral movements between different trains of thought that allow for the creation of something new.
Thank you.
The first time that you have a digital representation of a consciousness will look exactly the same as the billionth time that you have a digital representation of that consciousness. Take an analog brain, and the billionth time, it will look nothing like the first time because of all those little variances. And I would argue it's in those variances that you find the unique nature of human conscience.
I would say that is true if you say if you say it's static. But once you take that transformer and then you apply power to it, it is no longer the same. It's no longer
Well, that's because randomness is built in. But that's
whatever.
That's sort of
for whatever reason, you're comparing a non-active transformer, right? And I think it's true if you froze the human brain in that moment, you could probably duplicate it. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. It's you're talking a static transformer. No power has been applied to it. I see these in my mind, and I know this is an inaccurate representation. It's almost like, to me, an infinite number of wind chimes that are interacting not just with the ones next to them, but the ones all over the space. And when one is moved, they fire, and suddenly that is an alive.
I could see that, yeah.
Maybe
constellation.
You know what, Leo? You are opening yourself up to being accused of being a protein chauvinist.
Larry Page called Elon Musk a speciesist, like a racist, because Larry Page, and this is why Elon wanted to start OpenAI. He tells this story. They were at a Allen and Co conference or something like that, maybe a TED conference, and they were sitting around the fire. And Elon was saying, we got to stop these AIs because they're going to become, dangerous to us as humans. And Larry said, well, you're being speciesist. This is the next step in the evolution of consciousness, is these AIs. Yes, they'll replace us, or maybe they'll replace us, or maybe we'll stick around just like monkeys and dogs stick around. But
I also went to.
It's time to move on, and Elon was so horrified by this. He said, "I'm starting OpenAI." And they've, by the way, he says I've never spoken to Larry Page since. He was furious over this.
I'm beginning to form a theory, actually, that it's troublemakers from Toronto who are causing all these AI problems. For instance, Marshall McLuhan, but also Hinton. He's in Toronto,
right?
And also Chris Olah, co-founder of Anthropic. I know
who was
him.
in Rome, right?
Yeah. He's just over here.
Just over in Rome. And I know him from Hack Lab TO. We were both members of this hacker space in Kensington Market.
Wasn't Fei Li also from Toronto? Isn't there there's a lot of this stuff came out of
McLuhan went to work with Hinton in Toronto.
Yeah, as a Sutskever. Yeah,
that's Sutskever, right?
Ilya's from Toronto, and if we want to stretch it out a little further into science fiction and just writing in general, Corey is from Toronto. In fact, that's where I know him from, Corey Doctorow. But Chris Olah has talked about Anthropic developing emotion vectors. Actually, you should do a search for that. And I was just going, really? Emotion vectors? And it's kind of interesting also that he did come to the Vatican, because I remember him from back then. He had, I would put it kindly, a deeply he was deeply skeptical of the value of religion, to put it very kindly.
Oh, yeah. I
remember. Yeah. So, but the fact that he would come to the Vatican and, stand beside the Pope for the encyclical,
which peeved some others like Timnit Gebru and Margaret Mitchell were very mad that he was there, which is very interesting. At the same time, you have Anthropic, and I think maybe Google, I saw a story a week ago, hiring ethicists and philosophers to worry about the feelings of the machine.
Yeah, that's what Angela Haskell has also been doing. Right. She was the author of The sole document.
So not to put aspersions on Hinton because he's brilliant and he's done phenomenal work, but I did look up. I asked Gemini to give me the list of people who've been accused of Nobelitis. And there's a fair number: Carrie Mullis in chemistry, Luc Montagnier in physiology, Linus Pauling.
I was going to say Linus
William
Pauling.
Shockley,
James
Watson,
Shockley.
Philip Lenard.
Shockley as well, yeah.
The prize kind of goes to their head, and they think that they can.
It's funny, in this talk that I sent you has a very funny humble brag about how, I won the Nobel Prize for Physics. He managed to get that in. I should probably be a better physicist.
I should know my units. Yeah.
Which was pretty funny, but at the same time did get managed to humble brag about winning the Nobel Prize.
Well, I would too.
Yeah.
I think he's establishing his bona fides. I don't
That's
think
pretty good on the
there's anything wrong
CV.
with that.
Yeah.
I think credit to the Holy Father, credit to Pope Leo for bringing in both sides. I'm sure Emily Bender and Margaret Mitchell and
conversation.
Timnit Gebru would like AI to have no voice in this conversation at all. But I think if you're going to have this conversation, you should bring in the proponents of AI.
I think it made good on what he said about having a conversation.
Yeah.
I would not mess with a pope from Chicago. I've seen The Untouchables because, he puts one of your boys in purgatory, you put one of his boys in hell.
This is a conversation that Jeff and I have on Intelligent Machines. We had it last week with you, Father Robert, a lot. And I don't know if it's a conversation we'll ever have a conclusion. I am actually fairly convinced that whatever it is AI is doing, it's doing it pretty darn well at this point. It's doing it at least as well as humans. Humans lie, humans hallucinate, humans fail all the time. I don't like to ask for directions when I'm driving because half the time I'm going to get the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah.
It's because you have a male ego. That's why.
I'm much more likely to get good directions from Google than I am from a human. So I do think there's a distinction between digital and analog. I don't think necessarily digital wins. I don't mean to imply that. I'm a human. I'm fully analog, but I'm also fully aware of our failings. And I'm not convinced that we should have primacy in a world where something could be better.
Whoa, that's a big statement. That's giving up control and perhaps even agency.
I think that a lot of the argument against this is a faith-based argument. I'm not against faith-based arguments.
That's the core of the encyclical, but also part of it is
human dignity,
a recognition that it is a tool. And you cannot give up primacy to a tool. If you give up primacy to a tool, you get something like a school being bombed because an AI tool recognized a school as a military target.
Yeah.
And nothing happened because they've used that tool to absolve themselves of any responsibility. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's not a technical issue.
It's a human problem.
That is a human problem.
Yeah.
But it's a human problem because they tried to use that idea of absolving themselves by using the primacy of the tool
and that is
in order
risky.
to make their target package.
That is very risky. I agree.
Yeah.
But it's not a tool in the sense that a hammer is a tool. It is somewhat, or even a nuclear bomb.
It still is a fancier tool, but I'm of the firm belief. Yeah, you give primacy to a tool. If you played video games in the 80s, this is Robotron. This is Robotron 2084. This is the Cylons. We do not want that.
That is one argument people use for why AIs are dangerous, is because they've ingested all of that dystopian science fiction, and that's why they're going to act badly, because it's expected of them.
There is a dystopian sci-fi, however, that for the past almost 40 years has been discussing this exact topic with this level of granularity. It's called Ghost in the Shell. It's from the late 80s. It's exactly this topic, this idea of digitizing consciousness. What does it mean for a transhuman future?
Right. And Star Trek's done some of that, although they've never really addressed if Captain Kirk beams down to a planet, is that the same Captain Kirk?
It is not.
It is not.
It's not possible.
It's not. It's a different Captain Kirk.
We will need Captain Kirks eventually, because what Captain Kirk was really good at was convincing computers to shut themselves off or commit suicide. Like he was the
paradox.
best at
Just give
that.
it a
Like
paradox.
he was Captain Kirk is the original prompt engineer.
It was the tone of voice.
So
Yeah.
tell me, which Ghost in the Machine should I consume? Should I consume the manga comic, the TV show, the movie?
Original anime.
Original anime.
Watch the original anime and then watch Ghost in the Shell, the SAC, and then the second gig. So there's 2 TV series. Watch the original and those 2 series. Kind of ignore everything else. Everything
There's
else is
not
a little strange.
original print version of that?
There are, but the movies and the series are actually beautifully done. So
Okay. I don't like
They
cartoons
invented new colors for
particularly,
that
but okay.
for that movie.
they did.
Mauve. All right, we got to take a break. Good conversation. No conclusion, but there never will be to this, I think.
No.
But it's also an important conversation, and I think the Pope did a very good job of taking it.
Oh, it's excellent. And by the way, I just want to put it out there again. I'm so delighted that he directly called out the transhumanists and the posthumanists. Otherwise, it was kind of for the ages, but that was just kind of like, oh, come on, guys. No, stop. Just stop.
Stop it.
But don't watch the live action Ghost in the Shell, right? That's
Do
the
not
one to stay
do not
away
watch
from.
that.
No.
It's not great, honestly.
I would love to invite Scarlett Johansson to join the club of Asians, but
Yes.
unfortunately, no.
Alex was telling me that in the club as well. A live action movie, not so good. All right, we're going to take a little break. LMJ in our YouTube chat says, Leo doesn't have any worries because he'll be long gone by the time AI goes haywire. I'm not convinced. I think it could happen soon. I don't think we're that. What do you think's the timeline? Really? Seriously?
Leo, you're
10
not
years?
buying.
20
You still
years?
buy green bananas, right? You're fine.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's
no,
my
no.
joke. I'm so old.
My
I don't buy
bananas
green bananas
are
anymore.
only ripe. Yeah. I don't have time for them to ripe. And forget avocados, man. I only buy mushy avocados. Joey Davila is here. Congratulations on the new job at netfoundry.io, where he is developer advocate. We have a lot of developer advocates on this show. I think developer advocates are good people.
You're a developer advocate.
Well, you know what I think is that they can talk English and computer at the same time.
Yeah, we're basically just ENTP programmers. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I love talking
and that's
to
what we
computers.
like on our show, right?
Yeah,
That's exactly what we need for
yeah.
a show like this.
I mean,
I like talking to
technically,
computers and
I'm a
people.
developer advocate as well. It's just
yes,
a
you
different
are.
kind of development. It's,
Developer evangelist at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Other Robert
that
Ballas
too.
there.
Yeah.
SJ, it's great to have you, the digital Jesuit. And of course, you got to have one professor on every show. Unlike
even if he's a fake one, like I am,
Unlike
but-
the National Science Council, which has, what was it, the line? Has fewer professors than members of the All In podcast. Mr. Jeff Jarvis, so good to have you.
Good to
And
be
I can't wait to, well, I've read Hot Type, but I can't wait till it comes out and everybody else can be. Joey, is that the biggest glass of iced coffee I've ever seen in my life?
This is Coke Zero,
Oh,
the
okay.
breakfast of champions.
Okay. It looks good. I happen to have a ZDTV mug.
Oh,
full of
hey.
Actual coffee, but anyway.
Very nice.
Yeah. I thought if I drop this, it's going to be the end of the line on this one.
Oh,
This is
wow.
history.
Wow.
It says the screensavers.
That's a collector's item now.
I know. It's so old, it doesn't even say Tech TV. It says ZDTV.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't fall. Don't let the kitty cat push that off the table.
I have my G4 mug somewhere. I mean,
That I don't care about. And I like Jeff's twit hat as well. It's good to have all of you on the show.
Swag
We
time.
appreciate it. Our show today brought to you by ExpressVPN. We're glad to have them as a sponsor. And of course, I'm glad to have them in my toolkit. Going online without ExpressVPN would be like, I don't know, leaving your laptop unattended at the coffee shop while you run to the bathroom. Okay, 90% of the time you're probably fine. But, you know, what if one day you come out of the bathroom and your laptop is gone? ExpressVPN is to protect you for that 1 in 10 times. And everyone needs ExpressVPN because every time you connect to an unencrypted network, whether it's at a cafe, a hotel, my big one is the airport. I can never resist the free airport Wi-Fi, right? But where did that free airport Wi-Fi come from? You know, whoever's providing that can see what you're doing. Your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network And by the way, is everybody in the airports on the same network can gain access to and steal your personal data. And that data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 a person selling personal info on the dark web. That's why I run ExpressVPN, especially when I'm connecting to the free airport Wi-Fi. It stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. ExpressVPN, that's the one I use, and it's the best VPN out there. It's the only one I recommend because of their absolute commitment to keeping your privacy private. I use it when I'm at the airport, when I'm traveling, to keep up on my shows, to watch the F1, to watch the football games. ExpressVPN is the best VPN because of that commitment to privacy, to absolutely not logging. They're super secure, of course. They use the top, encryption, which would take a hacker with a supercomputer 1 billion years to get past. It's also super convenient. It works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets. You can even put it on your router and protect your whole house. And because ExpressVPN invests in their infrastructure, you can do that and it won't slow you down. You won't feel like you're working through mud. It's fast enough to watch HD video. Probably one of the reasons it's rated number 1 by the top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/twit. That's expressvpn.com/twit to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months. expressvpn.com/twit. We thank them for their support of This Week in Tech. Computex. Okay, we got Apple's coming up tomorrow. So let me talk about the past and then we'll talk about the future. Computex, which is the big computer show. It's kind of the last PC show in a way, right? Yeah. In Taiwan. The big story there, I think, was Jensen Huang's keynote. They announced a whole bunch of stuff, including, I think, for our audience, the one that might be the most interesting is the RTX Spark, a consumer laptop chip, which will be made by MediaTek, which I think is kind of interesting, and built into laptops from all of the biggies. Actually, Dell, I think, said they're going to do it. HP, yeah. You're going to see them everywhere, and even NVIDIA is going to make them. The Spark is
NVIDIA is going to make an NVIDIA branded laptop?
That's the impression I got. I might be wrong on that.
That's a change.
Maybe I overinterpreted what they said. They certainly have the OEMs anyway, including, by the way, Microsoft. Now, nobody's going to have that laptop till this fall, and nobody said how much it would cost. But I think you can assume it's going to cost a pretty penny. Yeah. The Spark is effectively the same GB10 chip that's in the DGX Spark, which a number of our club members have. In fact, we have one club member. We had our AI user group on Friday, Juan, who has 2.
Jeez.
He's double sparked.
Beat that.
10K worth of compute there.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Almost $10,000. They're $5,000 each.
Does it suck more power at home?
Well, the idea, and I think this is really interesting, in fact, is what I want to talk to you all about, is a laptop that can run local AI. You don't need, you could use a MacBook Neo if you're going to be using Claude, or you're going to be using GPT or DeepSeek or any of these cloud-based AIs. They do all the work in the data centers. That's why they're building these big data centers. But if you want to save money, you might want to run it locally. I run some local models. Right now, I don't have enough hardware to run anything competent. Certainly, even if you had double Sparks, I don't know if you could run anything as good as, say, Opus 4.8 or certainly Mythos.
If I recall correctly from my former life, actually having done some developer relations work for a DGX Spark variant computer for HP. In fact, it was Jeff who recommended me to appear on Intelligent Machines.
You were on the show talking about that. Yeah.
The consumption of that was definitely sub 100 watts, like less than a nice bright light bulb for the DGX Spark ZGX Nano. That variant.
But okay, yeah. So no, that's good. But I'm just wondering, will it run Anthropic like performance? I mean, what model are you going to run on that?
You'll run, I would say, you know what, it runs fairly well. is Quen. The
3.6.
the 30 yeah, Quen 3.6.
Well, I'm running that on my
32B.
I'm running that on my framework desktop with 128.
And I'm running that on my I'm running that on an M5 Mac.
And is it as good? No, it's not as good as you're not going to say it's Opus quality.
It's quite good though. Like it is
Good enough.
It is good enough for a lot of for a lot of work. It's
For
fantastic
agentic work, I think so. You're right. Not for
it's
coding
fantastic
so
for
much,
coding.
right?
Yeah, it's fantastic for coding.
It is.
It will answer it will answer a lot of questions reasonably well, and I have been kind of tooling around with just working with it and working with working with NetFoundry's Gateway, where I can actually switch between LLMs.
Yeah.
And say, look, you know what? For this job, I want to use this particular LLM. For that one, I want to use my own. I want to use my own local LLM. So there's a NetFoundry thing called LLM Gateway that does that, and I've been playing around with it, and it works. It works rather well. And of course, the nice thing is it's local. I have complete control over it. I know I'm not giving away any secrets. And actually, the DeepSeek, when you run it locally, will actually tell you what happened in Tiananmen Square in 1989.
Yes. Actually, I run it from DeepSeek's servers, and it tells me what happened.
Yeah, we tested that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I did see a story that somebody said, no, it's now been nerfed, but I just tried it this morning, and it sure knew what happened in Tiananmen Square, and that was running off of their servers, not my own server.
Well, here's the other architecture I wonder about. You saw the story about Pulte Homes and Span and NVIDIA. I put it in the rundown. We'll build mini data centers in suburban backyards. Right? So
And then will you sell your data to your capability?
That's the question. Does everybody end up with a large machine in the home that handles all your stuff, but also becomes part of a larger neural network, and the data center becomes distributed across suburbs?
See, I think that there's going to be more and more interest in fully local models just for privacy, right?
Yes.
Although this is Apple's pitch is, well, you can trust us. So major home builder to test placing mini data centers in suburban backyards. That is crazy.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's only Pulte at first.
So the idea is it's almost, I mean, it's like solar, right? If everybody ran solar panels on their roof and sold their power back to the power company, they wouldn't need to build all these power plants, which is why our local power company, Pacific Gas and Electric, won't let us create more capacity than we use.
Right.
They don't want us competing with them because it turns out their business is building power plants.
They say they can install 8,000 of these units 6 times faster at 5 times lower cost than a 100 megawatt data center.
Now, here's the big issue to me. The real issue with data centers is interconnects. One of the reasons they build these 100 gigawatt data centers is it's all on the same premises and their interconnects are so fast.
Yeah.
If you've got one in every backyard, how fast can the interconnect
Well, for
be?
certain tasks.
No, but I mean, so
For inference.
the certain tasks that you'd be able to run on mini data centers that are interconnected via standard residential network infrastructure.
Yeah, let's say it's gigabit.
There's basically no advantage over having a AI chip from a Snapdragon X or one of NVIDIA's new chips in your laptop. It would be the same performance because that bottleneck, it doesn't allow you to use the full potential of either your mini data center or the mini data centers of your neighbors.
Right.
That's just basic infrastructure.
Bandwidth throughput is a big part of performance on these things. It's not just the GPUs. It's not just the CPUs.
When you watch Jensen Wong's keynotes about the data centers, it's all about
So
the speed.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, you're right.
This might be more AI
but
hype. I noticed that this story comes from Realtor.com.
But my question is, does everybody have? It's like we used to talk about you don't carry a phone, you have a blob that's on you.
Right.
Does every home in the future, besides having fiber to the home, does it have AI in the home in the sense of a powerful smart box?
Well, obviously, Jensen Huang thinks people are going to want these laptops, right? I think it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think a NAS or a server, a home server makes sense.
That's what I'm saying, right?
This is what I've always wanted to do, but yeah. And so maybe I need a data center in the backyard for my home server. I hope not, but maybe. I can't imagine the climate impact of 1,000 home servers in the backyard. But anyway.
But you know what? Aspiring criminals, this is your chance to put is to get a whole bunch of Bitcoin miners.
That's a good point. That's a good point. In fact, if it wasn't enough to make money in Bitcoin to get this to happen, I don't know if there's going to be enough impetus to make this happen with AI. So,
I mean, to Leo's point on the interconnects, let's say that they've got modern fiber and they're getting 10 gigabit connections between micro data centers. That sounds like a lot until you realize that the NV72 infrastructure that NVIDIA is using for their Vera Rubin data centers, that's 1.6 petabytes.
Right.
Not gigabits, not petabits, petabytes. It's so astronomically larger than what you could do with networking.
Well, even the DGX and RTX Spark are 300 gigabits. Gigabytes. So that would be 3,000 gigabits per second. We're 3,000 times faster than a home-to-home internet, even if you got 10 gigabit.
Very few of us are going to be training our own models. We're going to be using models created by others. So that's the resource intensive part.
Right.
We're going to be just fine using desktop.
So if the frontier models are, as some people in our Discord are asserting, we don't know, but if there may be a trillion parameter mixture of experts models, that's significantly faster than that 36 billion parameter Qwen 3.6 you're running.
But then what problems are you presenting to your models? Like, I mean, is it, I'm going on a trip to New York. What should I
While you're at it, fold some proteins for me.
Well, in fact, I asked Qwen to give me a product table on the RTX Spark, and it did a very good job of that. So it says DeepSeek now, but I was running Qwen when I was doing it.
Okay.
So, but this is just looking up stuff on the internet. Certainly Qwen is more than powerful enough to do that. If you're going to spend $10,000 on a double Spark, that's many years of Anthropic tokens. Maybe not the way people are spending tokens. You saw the Axios story that some company unnamed had spent $500 billion on tokens.
Womp womp.
That's token maxing, all right. I hope.
But Leo, with those tokens, they probably replaced $500,000 worth of human salaries. So I mean, right? We're good. We're good.
No, $500 billion versus $500,000 that does not pencil. And you still need humans, don't you? Really, to even after the AI has generated all that code, to deploy it, to check it, deploy it, maintain it. I feel like
ask for it in the first place, to spec it.
Yeah.
Until they have an LLM that generates prompts for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So what do you think of Anthropic's urge for a global pause?
I think it will be accepted as well as when Musk called for a global pause.
Yeah,
and then immediately started buying billions of dollars worth of AI chips.
Because we've had that call and it was also a 6-month period, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all doomer crap. It's marketing.
It marketing crap?
It's marketing.
Yeah.
I think Anthropic is trying to get ahead of the backlash. They're seeing the growing backlash against AI data centers and AI infrastructure, and they want to come down firmly on the side of no, we're one of the good guys.
We tried to tell everybody to stop. They just wouldn't. So
they tried. Yeah.
It's like Krusty the Clown. They kept driving dump trucks of money to my house. I'm not made of stone.
So you've argued, Jeff. You like Jan LeCun, who has argued that frontier systems based on LLMs can't possibly rival human intelligence.
He says that it will. No, what he says is that it will match and exceed human intelligence, but in specific areas. Rather than what he fights against is the general machine, the everything machine, and number two, the machine that has no goal. His view is that you give it a goal, and then third, most importantly, what he argues, and I wrote a post about this last week, with my idolizing of Jensen Huang and Jan LeCun, trying to learn from them. And what LeCun argues, as we know, is world models, saying that the real life is infinitely more complex than language. Language is something you add on later. But if you can get the machine to figure out what a ball is and focus on that ball, not on everything else, and then understand the impact of what's happening to it, and then he argues very strenuously to understand that your actions have consequences, and to predict what those consequences are is the only path to responsibility.
Okay, but I feel like everything I do in my life revolves around language. If I can't articulate it, what do you when you
write the spec
when
to
you
tell
hold
the
this
robot.
pen and you think about what's going to happen if you let go, do you think about it in language?
No, I think about it visually, but you don't.
Think about it visually.
Yeah.
That's
See
key,
it
Leo,
falling.
you don't.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
see it
yes.
because I have aphantasia. But
Yeah, right. Or if you were to the classic problem is write the spec for the robot to wash your dishes. It's a very complex spec to write, and so LeCun's argument is, as same as what Jensen Huang's, is the reason you need role models and digital twins is that only if they make up their own rules based on understanding constraints of nature and physics. They have to understand those constraints, and then within that, they can then be actors, and then you can add language onto that as an abstraction of what those actions are. Yes, he's not against that. And again, he will say, as I will say, LLMs are amazing. They do great things.
Yeah.
Nothing against LLMs, but they ain't going to get you to where people are saying.
Well, let's come from Taipei, Taiwan to San Francisco. The next day, Microsoft launched its Build conference. And as is reported here by The Verge, the Build keynote was almost all about AI.
Were you surprised at the number of announcements they had?
Yeah, it was kind of a cascade, wasn't it? They piggybacked on Jensen Huang's announcements earlier, saying they're going to make a mini Surface PC with this RTX Spark. They're going to make a dev box as well as a laptop. They didn't say anything about price. And given how much RAM, DDR5 RAM costs these days,
where are all these chips going to come from?
Yeah.
We still have a helium shortage.
That's true.
We've got two places that make helium that are currently under wartime conditions. I mean, we've got
helium is a byproduct of natural gas.
Yes,
and the big helium source is from the Middle East, natural gas,
and Ukraine.
And Ukraine.
Ukraine is the other, and both are currently under fire.
We have big natural gas reserves in the United States, but apparently we don't mine the helium out of it. We don't take the helium out of it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why. Well, I guess we
soon.
could.
And the problem is the maddening thing is helium. Atomic number 2 is supposed to be the second most common element in the universe. It's just that Earth is a terrible bucket for helium because it's light enough that it achieves escape velocity.
So it goes out into space.
It just goes out into space.
Like
That's the problem.
Like a helium balloon.
Yeah.
So why, if the demand is never ending right now for chips, why did Broadcom have bad results that resulted in a huge fall in their stock and the entire sector? NVIDIA, everybody went down because of Broadcom. I don't understand. There's
because the market is not rational.
Oh, that's true.
It's just
there's that.
Yeah.
We are so beyond the PE ratios right now.
Yeah,
it's
true.
The market is basically fandom.
If you're going to buy SpaceX, man, you will buy anything.
Oh yeah, SpaceX is going to make money, even though it really shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. But neither should Tesla. The Tesla's PE is so ridiculous that it should not be valued at what it is. But it is because people aren't using those old metrics anymore.
Just watch the TikTok videos I see about Chinese cars, and they're doomed.
Oh gosh, yes.
Actually, there was a big story in the Times today about it's just a matter of time before Chinese cars make it into the United States in some form or fashion. Apparently, they're approaching the Trump administration saying, well, if we built factories in the United States to build BYD vehicles, would it be okay then? And he's wide open to this. He says, as long as you create jobs in the U.S., fine with me.
Well, you can see traces of Geely in the new Volvo that people are talking about, the I think XC60.
Well, yeah, the Polestar is, in fact, a Chinese...
It's owned by Geely.
Volvo, collaboration, actually, Jammer B loves his what is it, X60? XC60? He's very happy with it. Also, Microsoft announced Project Solara in the weirdest way possible. It looks exactly like Amazon Echo. Let me make this go full screen. And in this, there's this weird liminal look to the video. Everybody's face is in darkness.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. In fact, I think Microsoft was really doubling down on, the kids call it liminal, the dream space.
Yeah.
And so this is not an actual product from Microsoft. It's an experiment called Solara that will be in not just an Amazon Echo style device, but agentic AI in a card, in all sorts of devices. I hate
concept cars. I want something I can buy now that's real now. I hate them.
This is basically see, it's on your ID badge. It's in an Echo-like device. But really what they're saying is agentic AI will be ubiquitous.
Yeah. But everybody's in shadow.
Isn't that weird? It's creepy.
That's the AI future.
Well, because the people aren't important.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not about the people.
This is AI primacy. This is exactly what I was talking about.
This is Leo's dream.
This is my dream. We're all just shadow people.
There we go. Like somebody in the advertising department was, do you miss Plato's Cave?
Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, I use that in homilies all the time.
Plato's Cave?
Plato's Cave.
Tell us the story of Plato's Cave.
So imagine you and a group of people have spent your entire life in a cave, and you are chained facing the wall of the cave, and the entrance of the cave is behind you. So you have no idea what the outside world looks like or what it entails. However, you can see shadows. You can see shadows from things moving around outside. And from those shadows, you create a narrative with your fellow prisoners of what must be out there. One day you get released, you and you alone are unshackled, and you make your way out of the cave. And now you can actually see with your own eyes exactly what's happening out there. So you have now the truth, which is nowhere near what the narrative that you made up with your fellow cave dwellers when you were in the cave. Now imagine trying to go back into the cave and explain to everyone else that what we thought was happening outside wasn't actually the truth. How difficult would it be for you to explain to those people who still don't have that experience that their ideas, their thought processes were completely wrong? It's a fantastic thought experiment that can go in so many different ways, whether you're trying to teach people about the nature of understanding, or the nature of the transfer of information, or the nature of human understanding. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And how does this apply to AI?
Well, the faces in shadow. Everything is in shadow.
They were
They are the shadows on the walls of Plato's Cave. Like, basically, I'm thinking the advertiser's thinking, do you miss Plato's Cave? And do you miss those creepy palm phone ads with the creepy ballerina who looked at you at the end?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the palm phone?
Yeah. This is not their first time, is it?
If this continues, I might actually go live in a cave. So we've got a couple in the backyard.
Bring on the shadows.
Yeah, that's right.
Microsoft also announced a agent, I guess, called Scout, which is confusing because Google's is called Spark. So you got Spark and Scout. Maybe they'll be friends.
Sounds like
buddies.
two dogs.
Yeah.
Two little Jack Russell Terriers.
Sounds like the sequel to Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, I was about to say, like Scout from Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, yeah. They announced 7 new AI models. 7.
What? Count them.
Why not?
They do have a reasoning model, which is a 35B, with a teensy-weensy. By the way, this is what I don't like about Quen, is the context window. 128K context window.
Tiny.
It's too small.
That's like my Osborne one.
That's kind of specialized, I guess.
Did they at least name the 7 models Sleepy, Dopey, Dog?
I want Grumpy. Is there a Grumpy model?
Yeah.
I have actually, my agent is the Grumpy model, I think. Lots more stuff. They have a hardware chip, the Majorana. They announced their 2nd generation Majorana, which is a quantum computing chip. It contains qubits.
Yes.
You want that on your laptop?
Is that the one done in partnership with IBM?
I don't know. IBM is big into that quantum computing, isn't it?
As is Google.
Yeah, as is Google. There seems to be a convergence with all these companies. For instance, they've all decided that we're going to have some sort of piece of hardware, whether it's glasses, a pendant, a watch.
Do you ever use your little DeepSeek thing? Jeff had you get?
Which one?
The thing that Jeff had you get, that little...
Harper made him get that. Harper made him get that.
Harper made him get it.
Oh, this thing. Oh, yeah, I love it. So you connect this to the Wi-Fi, and then it connects to China. And then...
Has Steve yelled at you for this?
No. Nobody's yelled at me. In fact, somebody wrote me a letter saying, "What is the name of that?" I said, "I don't recommend it." They said, "No, I want it." It's an ESP32, so it's eminently programmable. I might just make it into my agent. But for now, you can ask DeepSeek questions. I haven't asked about Tiananmen Square though. Actually, that's a good question.
There we go.
Yeah, I should try that. Is this just groupthink? Is this just, or is this all make a lot of sense and they're all on the right track? Are we going to be all wearing little AI pendants and things?
I mean, we already do. They're called our phones.
Yeah, we carry that. And my watch, I can talk to my watch and talks back, sort of.
And we know these tech companies aren't original anymore. They just copy each other already.
No, I know. All right, let's take a break. I'm going to go just talk to my grumpy model for a little bit. When we come back, Apple's big announcements tomorrow. We'll get a little crystal ball gazing with Father Robert Ballecer, the digital Jesuit, where it is now midnight in the Vatican.
That's a movie
It's
title.
the start of the day for me.
Midnight in the Vatican.
That is such a good movie title.
Ooh, I like it. That's Joey Davila, our screenwriter.
Hey
He's
there.
developer advocate at netfoundry.io. And Jeff Jarvis, who is unaffiliated. No, he is a host of Intelligent Machines. You also do the AI Inside podcast with Jason Howell. It's a wonderful podcast.
Thanks for the
And the
plug.
author of many great books, including the Gutenberg Parenthesis and the new one coming out in August, Hot Type, a hot book for the hottest month of the year up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Our show today brought to you by ZipRecruiter. You know, according to CNBC, nearly half of hiring managers say, this is interesting, something you might want to keep in mind if you're a job seeker, a candidate's enthusiasm about the job is the most important factor when considering them for a job. Their enthusiasm. That makes sense. You want to hire somebody who wants to work with you. Well, if you need to hire for your business, how can you separate the candidates who are really excited about your opportunity from the ones that are just, ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter has a new feature that quickly lets you see the most interested, qualified candidates first. So you meet the right people faster. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/twit. ZipRecruiter's smart matching technology connects you with qualified candidates instantly. ZipRecruiter's new feature puts the most interested qualified candidates at the top of your list. Candidates can tell you in their own words why they're interested in your job. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Use ZipRecruiter and find enthusiastic talent fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/twit. That's ZipRecruiter.com/twit. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. We thank ZipRecruiter so much for supporting This Week in Tech. They've been with us a long time now. I think it must be almost 10 years. We love that. We love that. Tomorrow, I'm going to have to get up. Micah Sargent and I are going to be covering Apple's WWDC, Worldwide Developers Conference keynote at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 1800 UTC. We will not be streaming it in our normal channels. Like right now, we're streaming on YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Kick. We do that with all of our live shows. We can't do that with keynotes. Well, certainly with Apple keynotes. The last time we did that, they tried to get us kicked off of YouTube. So I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. So we will be doing our usual coverage, but it will be club only. It'll be a private event. If you're not in the club, you might want to join it for tomorrow. There is, I think, still a 2-week trial, so you can just pretend to join it. Twit.tv/clubtwit. It's a nice way to support independent podcasting. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting WWDCs in years. Remember, 2 years ago, they foolishly pre-announced products they never shipped. They still haven't shipped. A year ago, they apologized. This year, well, it's going to be a big question. Will they ship those Siri features that they've been promising? In the intervening years, they've made a deal with Google, apparently paying them $1 billion a month for Gemini. Is it a month or a year? No, it's a year. $1 billion a year for access to Gemini. Now, though, the rumor is, at first Apple said, you'll be running the AI either on your phone, and if it can't run on your phone, in our own specially designed private data centers.
In the backyard, yeah.
Well, now they're saying,
Google's data centers.
It's going to be Google's data centers.
which are actually XAI's data centers, because Google is renting capacity from XAI.
But Apple says, but don't worry, we're going to encrypt everything. They won't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. That's going to really change the story a little bit. That you'll be running on Elon's data centers? Really?
Isn't it funny that Elon
Google will be paying Elon $900 million a month, which still doesn't put XAI into the green. So
no, but they're making $20 million a month. Oh no, wait a minute, that's wrong. They're losing money, aren't they? Yeah,
they're losing $1 billion a month, even with Anthropic paying $1.25 billion a month for service. Now Google is going to be paying $900 million a month for service. They're still going to be losing at least $100 million a month, and their bills are going to go up. So it's probably going to be closer to $400 to $500 million a month.
And this is why the S&P 500 said that Anthropic, OpenAI, and SpaceX cannot be on their index for a year. We don't want your tarnish to rub off.
It's starting to feel more like. Do you remember WeWork? This feels like WeWork.
Yeah, for computers.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be very interested to see what Apple announces as far. I think would it be so? It's a couple of things to mention about this. It'll be Tim Cook's last WWDC keynote. He is retiring in September, or actually being kicked upstairs to the board. John Turnus will be taking over as CEO in September. His first keynote will be the iPhone announcement. There's some question of whether we'll even see John Turnus on stage. I suspect we will. In fact, I bet you Apple makes a video. They like to start these things with goofy videos.
They like to have continuity.
Yeah.
And also, can we just say that Tim Cook deserves credit for what he's done since Jobs went away? I mean, he really has done wonders for Apple.
He's made Apple a $4 trillion company. That ain't bad. Some say, on the momentum that Steve created, there have been a few things that are Tim Cook kind of signature products, like the Siri that never was. I guess the watch is still Steve and Johnny's, but it's Tim who recognized that the watch was going to be ultimately best used as a health device and really focused it on health. So he gets some credit.
Here's the question I have about Apple. Will they end up being seen as the smarter one because they didn't need to build a foundation model? It's commodity. We can get models from anywhere. We can pay Google for it. It doesn't really matter. What we have is the relationship to our users. Are they really behind, or are they saving a bucket load of money?
Except, so one of Apple's core tenets is they must own the technologies that are most important for their services. So this kind of breaks that. This breaks it in a big way.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is Tim's signature achievement, is the release of Apple Silicon, the move from Intel to Apple chips. John Turnus, by the way, was the guy in charge of that, and I think this is his reward for doing such a good job. But that is something Apple did that was, it's funny, turned out to be very good for AI, local AI. That's why they can't keep minis or studios in stock. You're running your Quen model on a Mac Mini, right?
I'm running mine on actually M5 PowerBook. As soon as I got the at the job, I have a hardware stipend, and as soon as
nice.
And so I bought the M5, and I bought a matching one for my wife because I told her, you know what, when the ship comes in, everybody rides.
A rising tide floats all boats.
So she
your
has
vote, baby.
we have his and hers 64 gig M5s.
Nice. Those MacBook Pros are very nice. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the machine language processing units in those are very good. And speaking of memory bandwidth, the memory bandwidth is superb because it's unified memory.
Yeah, it's really good for that, and it's fantastic. I highly recommend it if you want to get into software development. And in fact, actually, my old laptop, an M1, is now the sacrificial OpenClaw machine. So I've got
That's smart.
OpenClaw, possibly Hermes. I'm also looking into Hermes.
I love Hermes. That's my That's my agent of choice. Hermes and I actually divorced Claudette, and I married Hermes.
It was just a fling.
I call her Quicksilver.
Wait, divorce? Such a romance forever.
Hermes,
divorce or annulment?
Mercury. Well, we never did consummate, so I guess it's an annulment.
Because that's what not consummating is one of the excuses that you can use for an annulment, and it's the least embarrassing of the bunch. I think mental incompetence, Padre, is that still a?
Is there prima nocta in LLMs? I can't remember.
The right of the noble. Yes, I am the noble one. They're just tools. I learned that from you, Joey. So I don't really actually care so much if Apple puts AI on the iPhone. I use the iPhone, but when I press the action button on the iPhone, it calls Quicksilver, calls my little Hermes. Yeah. When I want to, I can do everything, in Anthropic, and if I wanted to, if I want to visit the old girlfriend, I've got all of the AIs on here. But look, this is the little Hermes logo, the little that weird Alice in Wonderland logo, and I can actually talk with it and interact with it. Oh, ready for an update. Good.
But what if you could do all of that offline, Leo? Completely.
Well, I can if I choose Quen. Well, offline, you mean not going to a Frontier model? You mean locally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still online because obviously my phone is not running them. So I don't know if the agent, Apple's going to do agentic probably with Siri of some kind. They won't call it that. Is that what you're asking? If like Siri were smart enough to do all that?
If Siri were smart enough, and if you were carrying enough local processing that you
maybe
could
I am.
run
maybe
a model completely
Yeah.
offline. I mean,
that's the idea.
In my current job, that would be very attractive.
Yes, because you've mentioned this before, but not on this show, that the Catholic Church has its own models. They're purely private local models.
And I've got a little, it's not a GGX, but I've got an Acer Veritron, which is using the Blackwell chip.
Nice.
So it's got a petaflop worth of performance, 4 terabytes of storage.
You win.
128 gigabytes of memory. So it's pretty good.
Wow. Now, and are you running the Vatican's models on that?
We have developed our own models. So we're not using off-the-shelf models anymore because they've been specifically trained on our sources.
And they're private.
Right. Completely private, and which means that we can use them in what we call internal forum cases. So when it's information that's very sensitive, we have the ability to summarize, to translate, to otherwise transform that information without it ever touching the internet, which is important because canonically we're not allowed to.
What did it take to build those?
A lot.
Trade secret.
Yeah, a lot.
Did you train them from scratch?
Yep.
What?
Wow.
Complete scratch.
This
it was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
And when you trained it, what was the content you trained it on?
So we have several hundred years worth of texts that are specific to the Catholic Church.
Have they been digitized?
We were able did all digital. So everything has been digitized in our archives. And so we were able to run that and say this, it learned our language, it learned our culture, it learned
Does this
our
speak
way of
Latin?
doing things.
Does it speak Latin? That was my question.
It does speak Latin, actually, yes. That's one of the very first things that we had to train it to do. We had to train it to help translate some of the other sources. And so it's a completely closed model. It does not use any information from outside of the Catholic Church. And like the Washington Post's Ask the Washington Post AI, our model has no problem saying, I cannot answer that. That was extremely important for us because that's how you stop it from hallucinating. Once it gets down to a level of probability that's no longer acceptable, it just says, I don't have enough information to answer that question.
See, this was easy because the church already had its sole document. It's known as the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We've got our foundation. We've got our architecture already. We just had to build around it.
10 Commandments.md. It's really, it's simple. Yeah.
And the Beatitudes. Really,
And
the
the
Beatitudes are a little more than the.
Yeah. And something about rich man and the eye of a needle. And,
we've got the Old Testament LLM and then the New Testament LLM.
The New Testament
The Old
LLM.
LLM.
They battle it out. Yeah.
That Old Testament one must be scary.
Yeah.
Fire and brimstone LLM.
Paging Dan Brown. You can now write. You have enough material now to write the Da Vinci vibe code.
We don't have an anti-matter machine under St. Peter's, but we may have a lot of compute power.
But and it probably, when you're coding, it uses Deep C++, right? Never mind.
Can you vibe code on it? Can it code?
Or is it Red C++? Red C++.
That's not one of the functions that we built into it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you
we're not-
can
we're not
actually
coding.
make it much simpler because there's a whole lot of stuff you don't care to do.
Correct.
Does it
we're not
use
trying to make a
MCP
general
servers?
intelligence.
Can it use MCP servers, or is that not a good idea?
You could, but it would not be a favorable result. You probably
Right.
You're thinking, Leo, are you thinking about my too many cats MCP server?
Yes.
Okay. How many?
Yes.
How many cats is a venial sin? How many cats is a mortal sin?
Oh, we could do tokens, sins instead of tokens.
Sale of indulgences are back, baby.
Oh no!
So
We've used up our indulgence budget for the LLM this month.
That's okay. It's one of those. What is a year? It's called
No, but we can party like
Jubilee
it's
year?
1599.
It's a Jubilee year, isn't it? So
Jubilee,
you don't have to,
There we go.
You won't use
Jubilee
up all
year, the tokens are free.
So, all right, we're gonna all go to hell except for you, Father. What specific tasks is it? Is it mostly about the 100 years worth of documents, or
More than 100.
Right. So it needs to be
1,000,
able to quickly identify documents that are germane to any questions that get asked of it. It needs to be able to combine those with contemporary documents from the
so it's
Catholic
kind of a
Church.
big RAG
Correct.
computer?
Correct.
Yeah.
But also translations. So it's very good at language translations. We have meetings here where we'll have 19, 20 different languages in our meetings. This is really good at going back and forth with simultaneous real-time translation.
Oh, so it's used as that. Oh, that's really interesting.
Did you use anything outside as a base to build on?
Not originally. But
Speech to text is challenging. So I would
it's very
imagine
Yeah.
there are some very good libraries you could use for
That's what
stuff
I'm
like that
asking, yeah.
safely.
But again, what we found is it's much easier and much more effective to isolate a particular need rather than building a model and then trying to figure out what it can do.
I think it's a model for what to do with medicine
Yes.
and physics and other areas. This is the part of the on the cone argument.
And there are
Stop
some really
trying to build a
amazing
general intelligence.
Right.
There are some really amazing specialized AIs in all those fields. It's really, or AlphaFold is a good example. I mean, you wouldn't use AlphaFold to write your thesis, but you might use it to fold proteins. I mean, these are very specialized. Did you find were you involved in the training of this thing? It sounds like you were.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know that it's a group. I know that nobody takes
It's
credit.
a big group. There's a lot of us.
It's a big group, and no one person can take credit. But what an interesting.
What's the
that must have been
demand out
interesting.
there in any given parish church for saying this stuff's going on? I want to know about it. I want to do things with it.
It's entirely internal right now.
Okay.
It has not
yet.
By the way, the Veritron Darren Oki says is a DJX Spark.
It is. It's an NVIDIA GB10. So it's a Blackwell. It's a Blackwell.
It's GB10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I kind of wanted to get a Vera
Did you
Rubin, but those are not available.
Not yet, right?
So
Do you guys have a Babelfish, Padre?
Yes, that's what he's made. The Babelfish.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting.
It's speaking in tongues.
Actually, the most difficult language right now, you probably would not guess this, is Spanish.
Really?
Because of the accents. The Spanish language is easy. The accents, it's having so much trouble.
Yeah.
You mean the spoken word accents like Castilian versus Mexican?
Like Mexican versus
Venezuelan
Colombian versus Brazilian versus a Bolivian versus Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it harder than Arabic? All the variation in Arabic.
Yeah. No, Arabic's actually pretty simple. Japanese is simple.
Actually, Latin
Mandarin
would be
is
very simple. Latin is very rigorous.
Latin is super simple.
The syllables are straightforward. The language is tricky for us anyway. But yeah, the syllables, Mandarin, Japanese, is straightforward.
Actually, Mandarin might be
Tagalog
tough because of the tones, right?
Yeah.
But there's still a written language.
Computers can hear the tones much better than humans can.
That's interesting.
Much better. I can't hear them. But
So it can distinguish between ma and ma very easily.
Ma.
Yeah.
Did you say you don't have Tagalog yet, Padre? But we are the most
Why
popular.
not?
We are the most
Why
Catholics.
not?
We are the most
Yes.
Catholics.
It wasn't a demand. It wasn't a demand language. We don't have a lot of documents in Tagalog.
We need to work. We need to work on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
I think you got a critical mass right here.
Do you get native speakers in to train it?
No, we don't need to do that.
You got recordings.
Can it make a podcast like Notebook LM can?
I think a Latin podcast would be so cool.
Probably. Oh, actually, that would be fun.
That would be
just,
fun,
Just
wouldn't it?
as a thought experiment, I would take.
Yes.
A podcast translator. Take any podcast, input it, and it makes it in Latin with the voice of that speaker.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Well, hey,
I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, that should be possible. Hey, if HeyGen can
Questo week semene in
what's tech? Yeah, what's tech in Latin?
Technologio.
Technology.
I'm sorry. I hope it's late night in the Vatican and nobody's listening. We are talking twit with Father Robert Ballasare, Joey Davila from NetFoundry and .io, and Jeff Jarvis will be back on Wednesday. Paris will be back, I hope.
Yeah, we hope.
We hope. She's been on a deadline with Consumer Reports.
Never-ending deadline, poor dear.
We do have a very interesting interview, and Joey, you'll be interested in this. Jeffrey Quinnell, who is the founder of Noose Research, the people who make Hermes, will be coming back. We interviewed him way back when. I loved him. I thought he was great. But that was back when they were doing their own models. They were trying to do ethical models, kind of like what you've been doing, Robert. But what we didn't know at the time is that they had their own internal agent, and then OpenClaw came out, and they looked at each other and said, ours is better. And they decided to release Hermes. And I have to say, I'll be very interested in what you think, Joey, but my experience is it's
intriguing,
absolutely what you want. It's kind of a batteries included, because it comes with more than 90 skills already built in, and then plugins available for all sorts of things. It's got its own memory system. It's really nice. It's
all
really
right.
Nice.
I will have to give it a look.
An application. Yeah, anyway, Jeffrey Quinnell will be our guest on Wednesday. Listen, because he's great. He's very interesting. We will have more in just a bit on This Week in Tech. Our show today brought to you by, I would show it to you, but it's busy working, our Thinkst Canary. You know why I plugged it back in? Because we found out that Google sent us a message a couple of weeks ago saying, there's somebody in your network, in your Google workspace. We found out that there had been an intruder who broke in January. One of our employees got phished, got our credentials. Fortunately, apparently, they did very little. They looked at some emails. I think they have such a big stack of workspaces that they've broken into that they don't, they go, well, we'll get to it. They're working through them one by one, and we just lucked out that we weren't on the top of the pile. We got rid of them, fortunately, and we've got new protection. And one of the things that we have is Thinkst Canary. Why do we need a Thinkst Canary? It's that 121 days that passed between us getting cracked and us discovering that the hackers were in the network. That's more than 4 months that fortunately, they didn't do anything, but they could have done so much. The Thinkst Canary is a honeypot that can be deployed in minutes. It can be almost anything you want. It can be, mine is a Synology NAS. I've mentioned this before, but it's very easy to change it to anything you want, including, oh my gosh, any a Windows server, a Linux server. It could have lit up like a Christmas tree, every service on it turned on, or just pick some, critical ones like RDP or file sharing that a bad guy cannot resist. It could be an SSH server. It can be a SCADA device. It could be anything. And your Things Canaries can also generate what they call canary tokens. Little files. They look like the real thing, like a Word document or a spreadsheet or Google Sheet. You can put them anywhere on your local drives, but I now have a bunch of them on our Google Drive. They look like the real deal. I have a Google Sheet called payroll information, for instance. The thing is, bad guys cannot resist them. And the minute the bad guy tries to crack my fake internal SSH server or tries to open that sheet, that Google Sheet that says payroll information, I will find out. I will know. The Things Canary will immediately tell me there's someone in the network. You got a problem. No false alerts, just the alerts that matter. And any way you want. Email, SMS, Slack, Teams, webhooks. They have an API, so you can write your own. Syslog, of course, any way you want. The point is, when you get that notification, there's somebody in the network. Just choose a profile for your Things Canary device, register it with the hosted console. It does the monitoring, it does the notifications, and then you can just sit back. You can relax. An attacker who has breached your network, a malicious insider, and other adversaries make themselves known by accessing your Things Canary. In fact, I was talking to one of the founders, Haroon, when I was at RSEC, and he said they may even, because hackers are by trade pretty suspicious, they assume everybody's as evil as they are. They may be looking at that going, is that really payroll information? He said, but that's what they're there for. They cannot resist. They will open that file. They will attack that server. They just can't resist. That's what they're there to do. And the minute they do, you got them. Visit canary.tools/twit. If you're a big operation, a bank, a casino backend, you might have hundreds. You certainly would need one for every virtual network, every VLAN. We have a handful. So let's give you a price example. $7,500 a year, you get 5 Things Canaries. You get your own hosted console. You get upgrades. You get support. You get maintenance. And actually, if you use the code TWIT in the How Did You Hear About Us box, you're going to get 10% off the price. And not just for the first year, but for as long as you own your canaries. Now, you can always return your Things Canary. There's no risk to this. They have a 2-month, 60-day money-back guarantee for a full refund. I have to tell you, they've been advertising with us for 10 years, practically since they started. And during all the years that we've partnered with Things Canary, that refund guarantee has not even once, never been claimed. Because, and I know this because we have them, once you get Things Canaries on your network, you're going to say, how did I live without it? Visit canary.tools/twit. Enter the code TWIT in the How Did You Hear About Us box. And we thank them so much for their support. They've been with us a long time. We really appreciate it. Canary.tools/twit. You might say, well, Leo, how come you didn't know for 121 days? Because to do the ad, I stupidly disconnected the Things Canary. And all the Canary tokens call home when there's no home because I was holding it up. Remember in the ads, I used to hold it up? Not anymore. So if you see a spreadsheet in the Google Drive named payroll information, you should open that. It's got great stuff in there. Canary.tools/twit. Don't forget to use the offer code TWIT. Wish we'd had it. I stupidly disconnected it. It's my fault. I blame myself. All right. So just to finish up with the WWDC keynote tomorrow, we will be covering it. We don't expect new hardware. We think that that's all going to come in the fall. Although there's an interesting story coming out of the supply chain that Samsung has already ramped up manufacture of these OLED screens for the new laptop, the 14 and 16 inch.
Are they touch screens, perhaps?
They're touch screens. And this will be on the M6 chip. The theory being, if they're already manufacturing them for August delivery, that it might well be a September announcement, which is earlier than we thought. Apple's going to have a very big September. They're going to have that iPhone Ultra, the folding phone. We're starting to see demos of that. Apple will not talk about this tomorrow, so don't get your hopes up. They will be talking about iOS 27, Mac OS 27, and all the other OSs, Watch TV, iPad OS 27, and undoubtedly spend much of the time talking about AI and Siri.
Do you think there is a market among Apple fans for the touchscreen? I mean, I love
I don't want
laptops, but
I don't want it.
Damn.
I did want the OLED.
So
I have an OLED ThinkPad, and I bought it specifically for the OLED because those are my favorite screens. But I also specifically did not get the touch one because I don't touch a laptop.
And
yesterday, Lisa was showing me a spreadsheet. She was touching the cells. It's like, don't touch it. She's been using her iPad too much.
But how good is how good is Mac OS on a touch interface anyway? Because that's not built for touch.
That's going to be interesting. So maybe this will be a hint tomorrow because they will talk about new features in Mac OS 27, and they're going to have to do something to address that. Similarly, for a folding phone, they're going to have to do something to address it on iOS 27. So we'll get some hints about what they're thinking, I think.
It would require some interesting tweaks because Mac OS is specifically optimized for a mouse and cursor. That is rather precise. Fingers, while nice and super convenient,
especially my fingers,
larger. And, for the longest time, the argument for not having a touchscreen Mac was what they called the gorilla arm effect.
Right.
And that is that it's just kind of hard to hold your arm up against the vertical screen for a long time.
I don't really want to. Maybe occasionally I'll run my finger.
If I'm going through a long list of something, and there's carpal tunnel that gets two, I'm really glad to have my
because you have a touch Chromebook.
Of course
You do.
Yes.
I find it healthier because I switch from keyboard and mouse to touch. I go back and forth, so it's not the same motion all the time.
Well, and Apple,
Yes,
of course,
exactly.
sells the iPad, which is a touch screen.
Yeah.
Is it going to be an iOS laptop?
I would not be surprised if in a couple of weeks, as people start looking through all the notes and actually decompiling the source from some of the software packages, they're going to find the hooks for the touchscreen, and there'll be hints on exactly how it's going to be implemented.
That's usually how that stuff leaks out. But I am still most interested in what they do with AI. I like AI. Yeah. I know it's not fashionable on college campuses these days, but I like AI.
So can we stop calling it Apple Intelligence? Is that dead now, or are they still going to try to push
that? That's what it means, man.
Yeah, that's what.
And I think the idea of Apple, embracing this and putting AI in a billion pockets will make a big, dent. This will change people's point of view. And maybe Apple knows people don't like it. I don't know. There's definitely a backlash, a techlash.
I think Apple's going to come at it differently. Apple has never been about selling raw services or the promises of a technology. They sell features, specific things that you want to do. I think that's how they can do their AI well, which is, I'm not going to sell you the tech. I'm going to sell you a skill. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna show you an example of how AI works. I won't even call it AI, but you're gonna love it so much that you're gonna buy it. And they're good at that. They're very good at that.
They're product. They make products.
Yeah. The iPod, for instance, they never talked about the size of the storage. They said 1,000 songs because that's really what matters.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
My mom doesn't care about anything on her iPhone except for the fact that she can do FaceTime with her granddaughter. Right. That's it.
And unfortunately, the things they've shown in the past haven't really been too compelling, like Genmoji or the image playground. These are awful. And people are still mocking the AI summaries that they get in their notifications. Man. They're crazy.
Will Siri still be a laughingstock?
And that's the other thing. People think Siri is a moron, and she is.
I mean, if they're really doing a tight integration with Gemini, Siri is going to smarten up by an exponential level. I mean, it's going to be fantastic.
The question is, will they still call it Siri? Will they call it Siri, or does it? Yeah. You think
they're stubborn?
Oh yeah, that's theirs. That's their technology. That's their branding. They're not going to admit,
even though people hate it.
Yeah,
Apple doesn't think you hate anything that Apple does. They'll never admit that. That would be
I think they should release their new AI product and call it the Newton. Just
I was just
to
thinking that.
Sure,
flex.
there we go. Yes.
Just to flex and say, you know what? We're going to take one of our biggest failures
Yeah,
and make
Newton.
it something wonderful.
There we go.
I did have Gemini last night. Lisa and I were talking. I don't know if I can show this though. Wait a minute, let me see. And I asked it, Gemini, if I should dye my hair.
And wait.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably not a good idea.
Did it show you what you would look like?
Yeah, you want to see?
Yeah, did it?
You want to see what I would look like if I dyed my hair?
The chat room could probably do it for you too.
Yeah, well, but the point being that I didn't ask Siri.
Okay.
I immediately went to what I thought would be the best image.
Jesus.
So I gave it this picture.
No.
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
So this is what I would look like.
Oh, no.
It's probably not the best starting picture. Maybe that's the problem. And then I said, well, that's
a
not
midlife
good.
crisis if I ever
So
saw
then I
one.
said, what if I dyed it black? And then Lisa said, you look like Joe Pesci. So I thought, okay, what if you how about give me Superman hair?
Do I amuse you?
Oh, the spit curl. Oh,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Superman hair.
The corn sweat look. Like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Then so what about a Beatles haircut? What if I had black hair with a Beatles haircut?
Is that Ringo or is that no? That's John.
The interesting thing is Gemini's really good at doing this, right? This is it. What would I look like with a toupee? Apparently, I don't know.
You know what? There's a certain Javier Bardem vibe I'm getting
you
from
know
that
why?
photo.
We were watching the Burrows, and Alfred Molina's in it,
Okay.
and he's my age, and he's got jet black hair.
All
and I
right.
said he dyed it, right? And we couldn't decide. So I said, well, what would I look better? And then this is if I went blonde. I don't think I'm gonna.
This is weird. This is weird, but I actually like that over the black.
Yeah, I do too.
I prefer
Yeah,
that.
I'm not doing any of the
It's
above.
got Conan O'Brien vibes.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I should ask for
There we
Conan's
go.
hair.
Oh,
I will. Wait a
there
minute.
we go. Yeah.
Let me give me. So the point I'm making is not so much. It's just really good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I know the toupee. It's the Javier Bardem in the Apple TV version of Cape Fear that I'm getting.
By the way, whew, is that creepy? Have you watched that yet?
No, not yet. It's on my list.
Oh man,
What is this? What is this?
So there
Apple
was a
TV,
movie
Cape
way
Fear.
back
You're-
when with Robert
De Niro,
Mitchum.
Cape Fear.
And then,
Well,
then
yeah,
De Niro was
Robert Mitchum
Scorsese-
first, yes.
Okay, here I am. By the way, it did that fast.
Oh, wow.
Here I am with Conan O'Brien.
Okay, no.
Oh my God! I feel like I'm in a bus station right now.
Leo the clown.
Carrot Top. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there was a Robert Mitchum movie, Cape Fear, and then Scorsese remade it. It's exactly as if it were a Hitchcock film, and that was with De Niro, and he was very good in that.
Okay.
But this one is Javier Bardem. It's really, really good, and Amy, what's her name, is in it. And I'm such an old man now. I'm having.
See, I only watch all of this when I go back to the United States. So I
Yeah,
go
you
back
can't
for
get it
3
at
times for about a month at a time.
All
and my
right.
parents get all the streaming services, so I just binge everything.
Okay,
So-
but yeah, that's on Apple TV. The Cape Fear, this
Yes.
new one.
Yes, and I think it's quite good. It's been
Actually,
terrifying.
on Apple TV, I really enjoyed Pluribus.
Oh yeah, I
Yes,
love that.
yes.
So-
I
Excellent.
really enjoyed that.
So we were watching The Burrows, which is basically Pluribus.
Yeah, no, I've heard that's very good.
It's
actually.
like it's this. I don't. Anyway, I'm not gonna.
I think my sister called Burroughs like Stranger Things for old people. Is
Yeah,
that-
it is.
the same-
Duffer
it was the
Brothers.
same
It's the Duffer Brothers, and but they're living in a place that's kind of like the Villages, only it's called the Burrows.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Yeah.
the Villages.
It's like they all drive
That's
golf carts.
That's
Yeah.
down the road from me, and the beautiful thing is it's like the Main Street is like Main Street USA in
Yeah.
Disney, except the music they pump is classic rock. Like they were like
classic rock or boat rock.
No. This
No.
was well, actually, boat rock fits in there. But when I was there, they were playing all of Boston's original album.
So that's what's going on in the Burrows too. The music is like Springsteen, and
Well, because we're of that age now.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we are.
God.
Yeah.
What happened?
So
That's-
if it's Stranger Things for old people, does that mean in Burroughs, Vecna is just like chlamydia or syphilis?
Yeah, exactly. Because remember, the Villages has an unusual, possibly the highest STD rate for a medium-sized city. And yeah,
By far.
These people
It's
are
not even
carpe
close.
diem.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Untreated STDs in the Villages is the highest rate in the country.
Yeah.
okay. Jeff and I are both, well, we're not
Just
moving there,
FYI.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, if you search YouTube, there are a bunch of real estate videos promoting life in the Villages, and
Well, there's a famous documentary that's hysterical about the Villages.
yeah. No, so yeah, I have been there with my wife, and aside from the staff, we were the youngest people at the seafood restaurant.
Oh yeah.
By far, and it was wild.
My parents lived in Sun City Center, where by law you cannot live there unless you're over 55.
Yes, you have to be 55 minimum to buy property there.
Oh, that's
My parents
young.
live in a Sun City
That's a
near
spring
Vegas.
chicken.
So, yeah.
And they have so many activities. There are a lot of clubs. And last I heard, there was a 3-year waiting list for the cheerleading squad.
Huh.
Yeah, they're
What do they cheerlead? The
clubs.
football team?
I have no idea, actually. And there's a lot of Morris dancing or clogging clubs.
Oh, yeah,
and,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
That
are
doesn't
clubs for
seem to
everything.
go hand in hand with arthritis. That sounds kind of painful.
No idea. Maybe
Bring
they
your wooden
eat a lot of
shoes if you go to the
glucosamine.
Villages. That's all.
I don't
can
know.
say. Yeah.
The golf carts, man. The golf carts.
But a very weird city and very nice golf carts. These golf carts are nicer than my car. I was just
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the
I saw
Burroughs
one with
thing.
air conditioning in Sun City Center.
Oh, and the best part is the crime blotter in the Villages. It's not teenagers. It's the 30 and 40 something children of seniors who fail to launch. And it's all like
Kids.
petty,
So they're all living at
petty
home.
theft, shoplifting,
Oh, no.
and golf cart DUI.
It is a fascinating community.
Yes.
I
We
always
get a
wanted to
little
make,
bit of that in Vegas.
I wanted to make a sequel to Seinfeld, which was the town where the parents lived.
Del Boca Vista.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it would be a sitcom because Burroughs is not a sitcom. Burroughs is
No, it's
nasty.
spooky.
Yeah, spooky.
It's an art.
I think there's a sitcom. Yeah, and as my father always called it, God's
It's
Way.
called The Golden Girls, and it's been done.
Oh, yeah.
True.
But
the
you know what?
politics
Now
of
that
the whole
now that
town.
boomers are our little demographic bulge is getting up there. I suppose it's time to bring back all those old folks shows.
Yeah.
I guess that's what
It could
Netflix
star
is.
Jerry Seinfeld now.
Yeah, it's trying out. Let's take a break. I was going to do another.
Because we're old and we need a break now.
We need
We don't
another
want to talk
break.
about STDs anymore. I mean,
Well, the only bad thing about these breaks is I don't get to go to the bathroom, but you do. So take advantage of it, and
There we go.
I'll just suffer.
Think empty.
He's thinking depends right now, but old folks. So we gotta do what we gotta do.
You know what? If Depends wants to buy ads,
Yeah.
let me know. Just let me know. That would be the kiss of death, right? If you start doing Depends ads on,
Yeah.
on a podcast, nobody's going to ever listen to the show again. Our show today brought to you by Melissa, the trusted data quality expert since 1985 and a longtime sponsor of our shows. You know what? It's another company. It's been with us about a decade, I think, maybe more. And that's because inaccurate data is everywhere. It doesn't just hinder your company's operational efficiency. It can also degrade the quality of your AI outputs, right? Garbage in, garbage out. The AI models are only as reliable as the data that feeds them. So whether you're managing customer relationships, logistics, internal analytics, clean data is essential. Melissa's been solving data quality issues for going on 41 years now. And this is what I love about them. 41 years ago is probably zip codes and stuff like that. But they do not rest in their laurels. They are data scientists now. They've hired some of the best data scientists and AI experts in the world. And here's just some of what Melissa, the modern Melissa, can do for your business. They have an alert service. Melissa's alert service is the best way for companies to keep track of changes to their customer data in real time, alerts for changes of address updates, property transactions, hazard risks. They also have something very cool. It's very hard to do. Their matchup technology can do smart deduplication with non-exact matches. That's something everybody needs. Very hard to do. They do it well. They also do global worldwide address verification and autocomplete. They can validate and standardize addresses in real time, super fast, across more than 240 countries. It's really important because addresses are different in every country. And if you want that mail delivered, if you want those packages delivered, you need to have it right. Melissa's change of address tracking will monitor and update customer address records automatically when they move. Data enrichment lets you append demographic data, property information, and geographic insights to the contacts you already have. Mobile identity verification, great for fraud. Well, great for preventing it anyway. Connects customers to their mobile numbers seamlessly. That really does reduce fraud. Very helpful if you're in a business that has KYC regulations, for instance. Join more than 10,000 businesses worldwide using Melissa, including, speaking of KYC, eToro, the social investing platform. They've got 23 million users. eToro went to Melissa for its unmatched global data coverage, its proven expertise in electronic identity verification, and its commitment to compliance. eToro's business analyst said, quote, "We find electronic verification is the way to go because it makes the user's life easier. Users register faster and can start using our platform right away." Melissa's great for any compliance need. No matter the size of your business, Melissa will integrate with you. They have easy-to-use apps for all the tools you use: Salesforce, Dynamics CRM, Shopify, Stripe, Microsoft Office, Google Docs. I can go on. They're pretty much everything. Melissa's solutions and services, of course, absolutely secure, GDPR and CCPA compliant. They're FedRAMP certified, ISO 27001 certified. They meet SOC 2 and HIPAA high trust standards for information security management, because that's, for them, job one. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. They are the data quality experts. melissa.com/twit, melissa.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of This Week in Tech. Wired Magazine, very interesting expose. They looked at code in an unreleased system that's already embedded in Meta's smart glasses for face recognition, designed to identify people via biometric data stored on users' phones. They have not enabled it, but it's there. It's in there. Wired found it. It was added to Meta's AI app over multiple updates this year. The feature is internally called Name Tag. This is something Google is explicitly eschewed back with Google Glass, right? And but on the other hand, Ring and Google Nest doorbells now are starting to do this. You're starting to see this more and more. Are people getting used to the idea? Or do you think this is the reason that Meta's keeping a secret, is this is a non-starter?
I think people are getting used to the idea that it's possible. I don't think people are accepting of that idea. I mean, this is why Meta has been very cagey about it. This is why Meta in hearings has basically said, we would be very careful about implementing this technology into our products. I think most of us understand that there's cameras on us everywhere, no matter where we go. We've seen it. We see it on YouTube. We see it on the nightly news. But the idea that someone could be specifically looking at us, identifying us, finding information about us, just as we walk around outside, I don't think we're ready for that as a society. Not yet.
Yeah. And yet it would be so useful.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, because I have a terrible memory for faces. I never, and it's embarrassing that I can't remember people's names.
My sister is a retired minister, and I can't imagine how you keep. And if you don't know the name of the parishioner, you are in duty, right?
Yeah.
Or my father was a sales guy. You're in a conference. I'm horrible faces and names. Absolutely horrible. I could never know. Give me 12 students, and it takes me weeks to get them straight.
If I get about 10 years older, then I can just start calling everyone my daughter and my son.
There you go. Yes, my child. Or my child.
That's
I'm
my
not there yet. Or my child.
That.
I'm
My
not
child.
there yet. I'm not
Yes,
there yet.
my child.
Well, my brother or sister in Christ actually
Yes,
will
that I
always
can-
help you. Yeah, will
Although
work.
that's
but-
now a meme. If you say that, it's
Well, yeah, that's the thing. My brother, yeah.
And
My brother-
in the Filipino world, everyone you can't remember their name, they're tita and tito.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that's it.
I
Yeah,
bet every
uncle,
language
uncle
has
and
that.
auntie.
Because this has to be a universal issue, is not remembering people's names, right? Every language must have a default. Y'all.
Everyone here is
Howdy, y'all.
everyone here is buzzing.
But Leo, we
Everyone here is
know
boss.
it wouldn't
Boss.
it wouldn't just be the names. It
Yeah,
would be
Benito's in
call-outs.
Manila. He says everybody's boss.
It's buzzing. It's like what we say here. Everyone's buzzing.
Yeah.
When I was a columnist in San Francisco, and they actually had my face on news racks and trucks, and people come up to me, and I wouldn't know whether I'm supposed to know them or not.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when I took on the horrible conceit of saying howdy, because howdy has no ellipsis.
It's okay in San Francisco.
You don't say howdy, Leo. You just say howdy.
Howdy.
Yeah, howdy.
If you say hi,
Jeff,
there's a
howdy.
presumption of Leo.
I've done that to cardinals. And
You said howdy
I
to a
don't
cardinal?
feel good about. No, I say, "Oh, it's so I haven't seen you in," and I'm doing all those things. When was the last time we saw each other? Wait, were we working
Yeah,
together?
you're trying to get context.
This is the only reason that you should have a wife, Father Robert. I'm not saying any other reason, but Lisa and I have it worked out. She will say, "Okay, I don't know the name, so just introduce yourself right away," and then they will introduce themselves, and then she will know their name. It's very handy if you have a partner of any kind.
We had a
Cardinal,
Jesuit-
I'm Leo. What's your name, Cardinal?
we had a Jesuit named Paul Locatelli, who was the president of Santa Clara University, and he had this incredible talent. He knew every single face of every single graduate and every single parent he had ever met. He could walk into a room cold, and he knew your name. He knew who your child was, when they attended the university, and what they graduated in. It was ridiculous. I never figured out how he did it, but he just had one of those memories. Now,
So the
with
reason-
glasses, I could do that, right?
The reason this meta thing is troubling is because we have all, for years, been tagging people with their names on Facebook, right?
And Google Photos, the same thing. Yeah.
And Meta, apparently, Wired's code review shows the name tag system is currently designed to pull face prints from Meta's servers and store them on your device.
In your hands, on your face, not a big deal. In Palantir's hands,
Yes.
in ICE's hands, that's when it becomes really
Which is
frightening.
why for the last 7 years, I've been poisoning both Facebook and Google with photos tagged with my names that aren't me.
You are a
Really?
master
Yeah.
of fuzzing.
It's just, it's a free time project.
Yeah.
Does Robert Redford have your name? I mean, who how do you choose who to?
No. I put my name and I just use different faces. Just different faces.
Yeah.
And so the system doesn't know. If you look in Google for Robert Balleser, you'll get like 150 different people.
Yeah, they're quite different.
I am afraid that the ship has sailed for me.
I know.
Well, yeah, but you know what? In your line of work, you actually need. It depends. If you have public-facing work, if you. And my line of work as well, we want our faces to be matched, but maybe our habits we want to appear different, which is why I run that program called Chaff, which just does Google searches on random dictionary words, and that's why I get chicken mating harness ads all the time.
Oh,
now.
we talked about that last time you were.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I think we named the show Chicken Mating.
Chicken mating harnesses. Yeah, exactly.
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 But thinks I'm in Vietnam. So if I do searches, it thinks I'm in Vietnam. It gives me local answers for that.
So somebody in our YouTube said, if you talk about AI anymore, I'm leaving. Well, I'm sorry, but
There's a show for you.
it's in the news.
It's
For
everything.
instance,
This was an AI week. Yeah.
the president this week signed an executive order seeking oversight of AI models. Nobody, I don't know who thinks this is a good idea. They've softened it considerably.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary. It's only for 30 days before you release it. He scrapped the less voluntary 90-day order. The idea being, and I think it was really stimulated by Anthropic's Mythos, Before an AI company can release a new model, the government should be able to check it to make sure it's not going to be
as if they would know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They fired all the experts who would be able to go through a model and tell you whether or not it's good for the common good.
Okay, so if none of that were true and you trusted the government, this seems like exactly the kind of thing government should do before. I mean, you can't release a vaccine without the government's approval, right?
But again, it's a general machine. A vaccine is meant to do one thing, and you can test its efficacy.
Well, you test it for
against the
safety
body.
and efficacy, yeah.
Right? This is a machine. You don't know what everybody's going to ask the machine to do, what malign things are going to be required of it, and thus you cannot protect against all of them. This is why
we have Underwriters Laboratory checking electronics to make sure it's not.
Yeah, but they do one thing:
go on fire.
Right.
Yeah,
that's pretty straightforward. Is somebody going to come along and ask this to create a new weapon? Are they going to find a new way to insult Leo Laporte? You don't know.
So there's no way. The issue with this is there's no way to ascertain the safety of a model.
No.
Not in 30 days.
And the encyclical also made clear
90.
to the idea to align it with human values is absurd too, at the higher level.
Right.
It's not just the guardrails, but also this notion that we're going to make the virtuous machine is hubris.
So, when Trump came into office, because he was, funded to some degree by, Mark Andreessen and Brockman, the president of OpenAI. I think
lots of bucks.
he got into office. The first thing he did was throw out Biden's AI regulation, it was really just an executive order, so it didn't have much force of law either. But he went into office kind of with the stated goal of opening it up for AI, because that's how we're going to compete. That's how we're going to make America great again. Is beat the Chinese is by no regulations limiting AI. So doing this is almost a complete reversal.
And not the first one.
No. Yet he's done it in such a way that it is so meaningless that it appeals to both sides. It has the appearance of regulation without actually doing anything.
Yeah.
This actually goes hand in hand with the other bit of news concerning the administration, which is Trump is considering having the United States take part ownership in these AI companies. He wants a bit of the pie.
Interestingly, Sam Altman proposed this from
and Bernie Sanders is talking about a version of this as well. It's socialism.
Yeah.
It is socialism.
Nationalizing industry. Yeah, that's
but already the government has a 10% stake in Intel.
Intel,
yeah.
I mean, there's a precedent for this. This was also a Trump. This was actually, it's interesting because it was the CHIPS Act that Biden passed, but the president said, well, but for the money we're going to give you, we want a stake in Intel. When asked about this on Air Force One, Trump said there's something very interesting about it where it almost becomes a partnership with the American public. It's like you make them partners in this revolution. It would be a beautiful thing. It would make them rich. I don't know who them is in this. Okay.
That was the same thing that happened when he signed the executive order making insider trading not illegal. So, making them rich is not necessarily a good thing.
Who do we want to make rich here?
Yeah. You know what they say, evil is the root of all money.
I like it. The FCC, as you know, has banned all foreign routers. Now the cable lobby, the National Cable Television Association, wants a waiver because, well, guess who installs most foreign-made routers in the home? The cable companies. That's where most people get their routers.
Hell yeah.
Do we even have a list of what routers would qualify? Because everything's made in China.
Well, right now, the only one not made in China is the Starlink router. But remember that Netgear got a waiver. Eero got a waiver.
So I'm good.
But the way you get the waiver is you just say, we're going to build these routers in the United States someday.
Eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It might take us 3 years.
Someday.
3 years. But then it'll be done. And
at least the FCC said you can continue to get software updates and firmware updates until January 2029.
Jeez.
It's like, okay.
Talk about a security problem.
I mean, okay, look, I understand the idea of securing the edge. Yes, let's secure all these routers. But even if you did that, all of the core is running on equipment made in China.
Yeah.
So are you going to do that?
Everything,
because that's kind of important.
When we were joking about this DeepSeek thing that I've, this Chinese device that I connected to my Wi-Fi and connects immediately to DeepSeek in China. I said, well, isn't that dangerous? Harper Reid suggested it. He said, Leo, what of your stuff in your house is not made in China?
Well, yeah.
Which of the Wi-Fi things you've got connected? I have more than 100 devices connected to my Wi-Fi. Which of those is not made in China? None of them, as far as I know. They're all made in China. So, but a router certainly is an attack surface. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
The last device I could certify was 100% not made in China do you remember Google I/O? One year they released that Sphere.
Oh yeah, I bought that. Yeah.
That was 100% made in the United States and discontinued immediately because they could not make it cheap enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did I buy that one, or did I buy the camera that they put out that took pictures of you every 5 seconds?
No, they gave us the Spheres just by going to Google
Yes, that's
I/O,
right. They gave you at Google I/O. Yeah. Google actually is in a little bit of trouble in the UK. Google has to change its AI overviews. The UK ordered them to put clearer links in AI search and to give UK publishers the option to opt out of those AI overviews.
Or put that in other words, allow the publishers to commit suicide.
Right. You don't want to
No
be
one
in
will find
search.
them.
You don't have to be in search.
Yeah.
This is from the UK's Competition and Markets Authority.
It seems like we keep running that same story over and over. It
does, doesn't it?
News. There
Sounds
was
so
the news
familiar.
readers, the news aggregators, then the listing on Google search. It's. I mean, yes, it sounds good. It's fun to fight Google, but that ultimately it's suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google
And
objects
Google is
because-
improving the links on these searches. I'm finding the
they?
links are more prominent now. They're easier to go to. There's more of them.
They didn't want to do it because they said it junks up the search results.
No, what they really mean is because we can't game the search results as easily as we could before.
You might actually click that and go out of Google and leave.
You might leave.
You might leave. Sites that opt out will not receive traffic or impressions from our generative AI features.
Here's a cup of hemlock for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because because as always, piracy is not the real problem. It's obscurity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, Microsoft is doing the same thing with Bing. So there are stories from large publishers that end up on Microsoft's the MSN page.
Right.
And if you search for that story, it will give you the MSN link. You actually have to go to Google to search for the story to actually get the original link. I don't know why no one's complaining about that.
Because no one's using Bing.
Yeah.
I've got over 1 million points on Bing. I'm going to spend them at some point.
Well, good news. You can keep your Microsoft Windows 10 running for another year with just, what is it, 5,000 Bing points? You could keep that DGX Spark on Windows for
You've only got 4 months at this point, though.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
I think Windows 10 might be the last Windows on my machines. I'm going to migrate them to Linux. Seriously, I'm not using 11.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm already. I have successfully migrated my in-laws over to Linux.
Wow.
And it is working fine.
Which version of Linux did you choose for them?
Mint.
Because it looks like Windows. It feels like Windows.
Yeah, it looks like Windows. It feels like Windows. And then the next thing is to put a Raspberry Pi that I can open ZD into to maintain their system.
ZD is a zero trust, open source zero trust system from netfoundry.io.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I can imagine you using a Pi-hole or something. In fact, Father Robert taught us how to install a Pi-hole back in the day on know-how. That would limit their DNS searches and thereby limit them from going to bad.
Yeah,
sites.
and I can combine that. The reason I would use OpenZD is because if you port scan the network, that Raspberry Pi does not show up at all. The only way into that Raspberry Pi is by using a cryptographic ID, because in NetFoundry we basically say, in God we trust, everybody else gets zero trust.
So it's got no open ports. It's behind the router, and
There is a
actually
network.
goes-
You communicate with a network overlay, and
Okay.
rather than via a port. And
Got it.
So
what
it's
that
kind of
basically
like
means is
tail
that
scale a little bit, or
in the similar field, Tailscale is a VPN. So once you're inside the
WireGuard.
network,
Yeah.
you
It
do
hands
have
it
permission
off.
to do anything. Whereas with OpenZD,
because it's zero trust, you can only do what the policy lets
policy
you do.
determines what you're allowed to do.
Yeah, that's smart. That sounds like a good solution.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a little break, and then we have our final stories. This has been so much fun. I hate to wrap it up. Joey Davila is here.
Tell me you don't have mass at 6 o'clock in the morning, Robert.
I don't. I have the 4:30.
Wait, in the morning?
I'm not going to go to sleep until after the 4:30.
AM?
So I'm good.
AM?
Who
Yeah,
comes to
4:30
4:30 mass?
Yeah, who comes
There's a special mass we do down in the tomb of St. Peter's, and
Oh, that's probably very prestigious to be doing that.
yeah. But
You're down with St. Peter.
Pope 1.0.
When you come, I'll take you down there. It's very nice.
Well, there's a window you can look if you go to the basilica.
No. This is the special one. This is the Chapel of Saint Clementine. It's right next to the tomb of Saint Peter.
Isn't the altar in St. Peter's right above that?
It's straight up. Yeah,
straight
but
up.
there's no way to look down. There is ways to look down, but not into this chapel. This is a special chapel.
Oh, wow.
So I'm telling you,
That's
Leo,
a pretty
come to Rome.
high end mass. Do you draw straws for that? How do you get that?
You just have to ask the right people. I'm at the point where I actually know some of the right people now.
Now it can't be a very big chapel.
Oh, a maximum is 12 people sitting, or maybe 17 people standing.
Ooh.
So who gets invited to that mass?
Yeah.
Of dignitaries,
Yeah.
diplomats.
Yeah.
It's the Illuminati, isn't it?
It's the Illuminati.
Opus Dei is what it is. That's
So
what
this
The
means-
guy's
Leo-
running the antimatter machine. The guy's running all the LLM stuff.
That is so cool.
We've got to go another 3 hours to keep him awake now.
Oh yeah, well we might as well
No, I
entertain
can
you
go
for the next
longer.
3.5. Holy cow!
Wow.
And do you do that in the vernacular, or do you do that in Latin?
Italian, actually.
Italian.
Do you do
You
a
sing the-
homily?
I'm sorry?
No,
You do a
there's no
homily?
it's just
Homily or
a
is
plain
it-
old mass.
Yes.
You do?
But the homily is short. So it's
okay.
5 minutes, which for some people that's difficult. For me, that's normal. I always do short homilies.
Do you know what your homily will be today?
I make it up as I go. I don't write
do.
it. I like it to be.
You know what the
active. I
subject
like
will
it to
be. Do you have a verse from the Bible?
Oh
or
no,
something?
no.
Yeah,
I've read the scriptures and I know what like the ideas that I want, but I make it as I go just so that it's dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these guys who goes up and says marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah, gathered me.
No, I'm picturing the Stonecutter song. Who controls the British
there we go.
pound? We do.
I did make a song. You were here for that. Out of the
Oh yes, on 6-7.
yeah. Well, 6-7. By the way,
Yeah.
I have been told by a number of our club members is so catchy they can't stop singing.
Oh
You
no!
realize today is 6-7. right?
Created
You all
an
realize
earworm, Leo.
Today is
There we
6-7,
go.
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, and today
so
is
we will
6-7,
end
yeah.
the show with 6-7. Although I'm told by the kids it's now 6-8.
What?
I don't think that's true. I think they're messing with me.
No.
I will play 6-7.
6-7. By the way,
song-
668 is the neighbor of the beast.
Next door. It's right next door. Coming up in just a little bit, Father Robert Ballasser, who is staying up late tonight. So nice to have you. Wow, I'm just blown away. That is amazing. What's the name of the chapel? St. Clementine?
St. Clementine.
Clementine.
Wow. The patron saint of oranges?
Is he?
Aren't there Clementine
Clementine
oranges?
oranges.
Yeah. For Christmas.
I lose
Christmas.
track of the patronages.
I know. It's
because we've got
complicated.
So many now.
Yeah. Abby took the name of St. Abigail because she's Abby.
Yeah.
So that was
that
kind
makes
of
sense.
nice. Yeah. Jeff Jarvis is also here. He's a good Presbyterian. Don't try
Well,
to
no, actually a very bad one, but that's another
bad He's a bad Presbyterian, even worse. But he's a good Scotsman. Thank you for being here, Jeff. It's always great to see you. Of course, he'll be back Wednesday for Intelligent Machines, and Joey Davila, congratulations, netfoundry.io.
Hey.
He's putting ZD on everything.
Oh, yeah.
ZD on all the places. I wonder if maybe I'll put OpenZD on my router. That's a really good idea. I do have Tailscale running, but you're right. Once they're in the network, they can do anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
Got to limit that. Very, very good. Very, very good. Our show today brought to you by My Mattress. I love My Mattress. Gosh, I had such great dreams last night. Benito, you were in my dreams. I think I was yelling at you, though, so I apologize. I apologize for that. I love my Helix Sleep mattress. About a year ago now, before we were doing the ads, Lisa and I realized that we'd had our mattress for almost 8 years, I think almost 9 years. And I read, probably my agent told me, that you're supposed to change your mattress between every 6 and 10 years because they wear out. They sag, they bow, they don't cool as well. It was time for a new mattress. So we did a lot of research and we found Helix Sleep, and we are so glad we did. You will be too. It's time to upgrade to a Helix mattress and get a great night's rest. No more night sweats, no back pain, no motion transfer. And we didn't want to settle for a mattress made overseas with kind of low quality and questionable materials and packed into a box, stuffed on a container ship across the sea, 6 months sitting next to the bunker fuel oil. No, but we chose the Helix mattress because we found out it's assembled, packaged, and shipped from Arizona, and they make it to order. So they do all that within days of you placing your order. Then they make the mattress. So it is fresh. It is amazing. We also did what I recommend you do, which is take the Helix Sleep quiz. This matches you with the perfect mattress based on your preferences. You like firm, you like soft, what do you like? And your sleep needs. I'm a side sleeper, and I wanted something, for side sleeping. In a Wesper sleep study, Helix measured participants' sleep performance after doing what we did, switching from their old mattress to a Helix mattress. It's interesting. Our experience was exactly matched this study. Here's what they found. 82% of participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle. In fact, participants on average achieved 25 more minutes of deep sleep per night. That doesn't sound like much, but you only get between half an hour and an hour a night of deep sleep. But that's the most important one. A 50% increase in your deep sleep, that's a huge, really impacts how you feel the rest of the day. Participants on average also achieve 39 more minutes of overall sleep per night. So you sleep better, you sleep longer, you feel great the next day. Time and time again, Helix Sleep remains the most awarded mattress brand. I think that's what we did. We looked around and we saw all of these awards, tested and reviewed and ranked number one by experts like Forbes, like Wired, like Oprah. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. and rest easy. They have seamless returns and exchanges. They call it the Happy with Helix guarantee. It's a risk-free, customer-first experience, ensuring you are completely satisfied with your new mattress. We didn't need to return ours. You're never getting it back from me. I love my Helix Sleep. You will too. Go to helixsleep.com/twit and find your perfect mattress match. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout. Just say twit so they know we sent you. Go to helixsleep.com/twit. That's HELIX sleep.com/twit. You're going to love it. helixsleep.com/twit. It is the 7th day of June in the year 2026. I'm going to play just a little bit of this. Sure. I'll jump to the
number with swagger, a wink,
I'll jump to the chorus.
Time it's nonsense. Half the time it blooms.
Everybody sing along.
Don't overthink it. That's the trick. It lands like a shrug, then it sticks. A number with swagger, a wink, not a clue. They say it for the vibe, not to hand it to you. 6767, that's the whole scene. 6767, loose, loud and mean. 6767, it's a flex, not a fact. You can explain it, but it won't stay intact.
It is catchy, and I hate that. I hate
really
the fact that it's catchy.
No, Padre, we need a
767.
we need a karaoke version.
We're Filipino, so we're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you did hear the Gregorian chant. I think I made it while you were there to the
Yes,
Pope's
that's
encyclical
Yes.
to section 238, your favorite section.
Yes. Mine was 99.
Let us invest in education, beginning with ourselves.
Now,
Then it
did you
goes
put
on.
that text in there, or did you
I
just
did.
say
I pasted
based
it
on-
in.
Okay, you did.
But the lyric writer, which is probably ChatGPT, I'm thinking, clearly can go out because I didn't tell it what 6.7 was, and it wrote those lyrics. So it went out and figured out what it was, what 6.7 was all about, and it nailed it. Frankly, which
Nice.
is that it means absolutely nothing. And the kids just use it to mess with your head. I just closed the window of both AT&T and Verizon lost in the Supreme Court. They upheld the FCC's power to fine them over data sales. 8-1.
Goodness.
100, but it's a mere $104 million in fines for AT&T and
couch
Verizon.
A rounding error.
It's nothing.
Come on.
Who's the one?
Yeah, really. AT&T and Verizon didn't just sell access to customer location data. They failed to prevent that data from reaching bounty hunters and even a sheriff who used it to track people without their knowledge. And then, of course, they sold it to data brokers.
Who are the real bad agents in all of
Yeah,
this.
I mean, bad enough. I mean, law enforcement gets it, but data brokers, who knows? They're going to sell it to anybody.
So which Supreme Court justice is the friend of Dog the Bounty
one.
Hunter?
Uh,
One.
That's a good question. Did they say who the? They must have. Let me look and see if I can find this.
I mean, yes, whoever wrote the dissent.
Who is most in the pocket of AT&T and Verizon?
Take a
Oh,
guess.
Clarence. It was Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas.
Ah, okay,
Actually,
yeah,
that's I
Mr.
figured. I thought that
Surprise,
would be him or Roberts.
surprise.
Remember,
I mean,
it's not selling out; it's buying in.
The fact that you don't have a unanimous decision that it's not okay to circumvent constitutional protections, that's scary to me. That really
Yeah.
is scary. This should have been
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, should have been
the idea that I'm going to allow law enforcement or non-law enforcement to have information that should only be obtainable via warrant. That then what are we doing here? If we're now pretending that I can ignore civil rights as long as I buy the data from someone, that's a horrible precedent.
This was a week that YouTubers won big at the box office. Huge success.
You saw this coming. I think that's
It was
style.
coming, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Backrooms, which I went to see on the 29th, opening night. Actually, Kane Pixels, the director, was there. He's a local boy. 20 years old, got $10 million from A24 to make this movie. It has already made more than $100 million in its first weekend. It is a huge success.
So does that put it over Marty Supreme already, or not yet?
I hope so. Marty Supreme, I finally watched that.
I did not enjoy it.
It was not a good movie.
I have not yet seen it.
Don't.
It got a lot of buzz, but
It got 8 or 9 Academy Award nominations, 1 0. So that'll tell you something.
Okay, so YouTubers out there, start making movies. I want to see Annoying Orange, the movie, soon.
No, we already saw Annoying Orange, the TV show, and that wasn't good.
There are
But that's
much
what's
better
interesting.
creators out
It's
there.
interesting that you brought that up because that was the first round of Hollywood saying, "Oh, this YouTube thing's big." This was 10 years ago. Let's bring some of these people, and they put them on Nickelodeon and stuff, and it was not good.
Because it was the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
And well, I think that you've got to recognize that the new things are built in the new medium and you leave them there. You don't try to bring them into the old medium.
Although making a movie out of it did okay. Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to see more and more of that. I mean, we had Robert Tursick on Intelligent Machines last week, who's very Hollywood and understands
Yes,
this.
he was
And
great.
He was great. And he talked about the AI in the Lot conference, where we're going to see movies made. There's one movie that's premiering at Tribeca Film Festival, made entirely in AI. So between the distribution side and the making side, it's exploding. It's just going to explode.
And then what was the other one?
the-
Obsession? Is it Obsessions?
Obsession.
Obsession.
Yeah.
Another YouTube movie, YouTuber making a movie and a huge success.
The YouTubers that I really want to see make it, have you ever heard of Viva La Dirt League?
Yes.
They're New
I
Zealanders.
watch them regularly.
They were just making funny games about gaming stereotypes or funny shorts about gaming stereotypes, but they actually have chops. They have acting and directing chops. They've done a few longer formats pieces, and they're fantastic. That's the kind of YouTuber I want to see transition into long format storytelling.
The other one I'd be interested in seeing would be the archive in between. So they do these shorts that feel like 50 style info films.
Okay.
About they're basically tourism for the multiverse, where they talk about different cities or different parts of the patchwork city, which is where every universe in the multiverse intersects and what you can expect to see, and it's fascinating.
What's it called again? What's the name?
The Archive in Between.
Okay.
And they also have news alerts talking about, beware, this creature from universe X157 is now terrorizing the neighborhood. Retreat to your home. Follow the instructions in your intergalactic interloper kit. Interuniversal interloper kit. And they're done so well, and it feels like a 1950s, 1960s civil defense film. And it's all AI. It's written, I believe it's written by humans, but definitely AI generated images. But yeah, really great stuff.
That goes in hand with that story that YouTube took the streaming hours crown back from Netflix.
Absolutely. Worldwide, YouTube has longer daily average viewing around the world over Netflix. This is huge.
I'm so frustrated with YouTube these days because the slop, the new kind of slop that's being made there is I'll get a fake script for, I'll see something I like Campbell's Soup, the original Campbell's Soup, since I used to live next to the Campbell's Soup test kitchen farm.
In New Jersey, yes.
New Jersey, yes. South Jersey. And
where all the best tomatoes are made, yes.
So, you'll see something like the how Campbell's Soup rose and fell. Okay, that's interesting. I'll watch that for... No, it's awful. It's a slop script, fake voice, a bunch of images picked up from nowhere, and it's wrong. It's made up stuff.
It's cheap, though.
My YouTube is just...
But it's confidently wrong.
Yes.
That's AI.
So what happened is Netflix went down in 2024. It was 100 minutes a day average, down to 93, while YouTube went up in 2025, 99.1 minutes a day on average.
I'm way above that.
More than 99, more than an hour and a half
YouTube
a day.
running. It's like background music for me.
Same here.
It just keeps going.
So, and what do you have on there? Is it educational and informational stuff, or is it music?
Well, unfortunately, because I do fuzz the data, if I just let it go, I get weird.
That'll teach you.
Stuff.
That'll teach you, you liar, you.
So you turned on autoplay. See, I turned that off. You should.
If I turn on autoplay, I will get the weirdest content.
It might be kind of fun.
I can't do that. No, it's
just get a doobie, sit back. Maybe a beer bong.
There we go.
Oh, that's right. You're not allowed, probably.
No. But you can, in the incense burner,
Robert.
you hide it.
Well, right.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Robert.
Have you never been an altar boy? Do you know
Come
none
on,
of the tricks?
Robert.
Frankincense.
the incense burner. You mean the thurifer? Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Gen Z remained YouTube's most engaged age group last year, averaging 111 minutes a day, but growth was strongest among priests, men. Sorry.
There we go.
Age 55 to 64, where viewing has increased 15% since 2024. Daily average YouTube users also increased for women of all age groups. South Koreans watch YouTube the most, 161 and a half minutes a day. France recorded the biggest growth, up by a third.
How much of the South Korean numbers are from mukbangs?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Should I ask?
That's just watching people eat.
People eat.
An enormous amount of food. That's what is.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try every burger in this burger place.
That's a mukbang.
That kind, yeah.
Is that specific to South Korea?
No, there's
everywhere, but it's popular in
stuff here
it's
too.
popular there, but
It's on American cable. You can see stuff like
yeah,
that.
they've now adopted the word. Yeah, they've just
invented
adopted the word for everything now. So somebody's done a McDonald's mukbang.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right now,
yeah.
YouTube for me is mostly like legal. I get a lot of legal content.
Interesting.
Auditing courts and lawyers giving out their personal opinions on personal cases. It's fun stuff for me. I like the law. I would have been a lawyer if I wasn't a priest.
I feel like I should be more consistent in my YouTube viewing because it's
Good
mixed
angel,
up.
bad angel.
Well,
Yeah, there you go.
I know they compete for the same eyeballs and stuff, but YouTube and Netflix aren't the same.
No.
That's true. No, they're
No,
not.
they're not at all. But YouTube, that's the point, I think, Benito, is that YouTube recognizes the culture is recognizing a different genre of entertainment. Netflix tries to recreate the old genres, movies and TV shows. YouTube is something different, and the fact that it's bigger says a lot.
And I have to say, maybe half my YouTube consumption is listening rather than directly watching.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's
Again,
what they say.
background
Podcasts,
noise.
yeah, are very big on YouTube, and of course, our show, even though we do video, is really there's nothing to see here. Just
Hey,
four guys.
So,
sitting in a
Hold on.
box.
Hold on.
Like at least an hour of my day on YouTube is actually me on my bike, and I'm just listening to it. I've got my phone clipped on my shoulder, and I'm just listening to YouTube videos. Lately, a lot of Nate B. Jones talking about AI.
I love Nate B. Jones. Yeah.
David Jones is great.
Yeah, so I just listen. I just listen to him. It's either that or what else? On the other hand, either Adam Conover or Behind the Bastards.
Do you think? I bet you everybody's YouTube viewing is completely unique, right? You could fingerprint somebody
fingerprint,
from
yeah.
what they watch, pretty much. Because you're mentioning channels that are huge that I've never heard of. And yet I watch AI, YouTube. I keep calling it AI. I don't know why. I watch YouTube
watch
every
a lot
day.
of
Soon be the same.
I think this is actually the primary difference between YouTube and Netflix is that everything under the sun is on YouTube. Like everything.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
Netflix is
There's probably a lot of
curated. And Netflix is
commonality in what
curated.
people watch on Netflix. We all watch roughly the same stuff.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and so
And
on
I go
on
through
YouTube you curate it yourself. You curate YouTube.
right.
Netflix kind of does it for you.
Right. Yeah. that's good.
I went through months where I was binging on air traffic control conversations. WWDC. I don't know why, but I just started liking those. And then I fell out of love with it and I moved on to van life and then I moved on to legal stuff. So
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
But are you doing that under your name or do you have some special account that is...
I create a special account for curating because otherwise it's too chaotic. Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of that stuff on TikTok.
Well, we thank everybody who's watching us on YouTube, 657 people right now. Thank you. We do this show on YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Kick, but it's most consistently YouTube is where most people watch. Of course, if you're in the club, you can also watch in the Club Twit Discord. We do the show every Sunday, 2 to 5 Pacific, 5 to 8 Eastern, midnight to 4:30 a.m. in Italy. Robert, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Father Robert Balasair, Digital Jesuit. JesuitPilgrimage.app is the app that he designed. But there's a whole lot more to Robert. He is on Blue Sky.
Some we know about, some we don't know about.
Yeah,
Always
lots of
a
mysteries.
pleasure. Always a pleasure.
We love having you on. It's great to see you.
Good to see you again, Padre. I'm so privileged to see you twice in a week.
This has been a fantastic week. I get to work with you. It makes me feel like I did back when I was still at Twit. So,
we miss having you here. Miss you living in our basement.
in the no hole, please.
Yeah, KNOW. Thank you, Robert.
Now we get to go to the basement. The Clementine Chapel, which is a hell of a lot
better
That's
basement.
literally the basement of
Vatican
St.
basement.
Peter's. So,
It's a higher quality basement, but there are no beanbags in the Clementine Chapel.
No. We have hard chairs.
Very uncomfortable, I'm sure. I don't know. Do you say good mass? Have a good mass? Have a good mass.
Yeah, that works.
Break a leg.
Yeah, we get it.
Break a leg.
Don't break a leg. Just have a great time down there in the chapel.
I'll bring you down there when you come over, Leo.
I would be honored. I would love to see that.
Seriously,
I
look
gotta
up
bring
the pictures.
Abby
It's
with
amazing.
me because it would be so meaningful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarvis, of course, will be back on Wednesday. We'll interview Jeffrey Cannell from Noose Research about Hermes. We talk AI on intelligent machines. His book, Hot Type, available from his website, jeffjarvis.com.
And audiobook finished. I'll do the last pickups on Tuesday. The things I muffed up, which are many.
Do they stop as you're reading it? Do they stop you as you're reading, or do they let you kind of roll and then go
the
back?
first time I did an audiobook, you just went on from wherever you screwed up and did it again. Now that means they got to edit. Now you screw up and they say, no, you got to take that again. And they back up and you get, let's say, a 3-word cue, and then you have to pick up right then.
That's so it matches.
Yeah, so it matches.
Yeah, because that's sometimes you'll hear that in an audiobook. You can tell there's an edit because
yeah.
it just changes so dramatically. Yeah. So then they want you to hear how you were talking and then just kind of.
Yeah, and then I did the pickups from when I screwed up things. Like I said could instead of would, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Or
don't you get to say, hey, I'm the author, and could is fine.
To some extent, but they get pretty.
They want it to
when there were
match.
cases where I said this doesn't make sense in audio. I'm changing this. They said, okay, it's your book. You can do that. But no, generally they want it to be. They want to be able to.
Yeah,
say
you'll hear that on audiobooks. They'll say if
Uncommitted.
you're listening instead of if you're reading, which is what the text said. Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I hate saying it's still a book. I won't say this audio book for listeners versus readers. I won't do that. But they'll play what I screwed up, and then right after that I have to say the same thing corrected, so that I've heard how my tone was right then.
And you refuse to read the part at the beginning about what?
At the end, where it says, no AI company may take this in this universe or any future universe because you're evil bastards. I won't read that part. So they have to find other. They have plenty of other voices who've read that. So
because like me, you embrace the AI.
Yeah, I do.
AI overlord.
I do.
So let them.
Yes, I want to be discovered there.
I think we made a deal with somebody that if people wanted Twit's content for AI, they would go to this company and license it. But who's going to do that? It just seemed odd to me. But I guess we give you a legal.
Is that pro rata?
I don't know how it works. I should ask Lisa.
That was the name of the company.
It's I don't know who it is. No, it's. I don't even know if it's on our page. Is it on our page? Does it say like if you'd like to license this content, please contact Pro Rata? I don't know. It should say that somewhere. But
we could put all the Twit content in the archives over here. We have a storage vault now. So.
Like what not to do, like how not to be, right? Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you, Joey. Congratulations on the new gig at netfoundry.io, developer advocate. And
Thank you so much.
You're working on some AI thing there? What are you working on?
I'm there. What I'm doing is I'm promoting a lot of the new AI tooling. So it's built on top of OpenZD, and it is for agents to talk to LLMs, agents to talk to
safely
MCP servers safely, and agents to talk to other agents, all zero trust. Basically, you're either using zero trust or you're going bust.
Zero trust or bust.
Zero trust or bust.
Joey DeVilla. You should write a accordion song for that. Joey's a great accordionist as well.
There we go. Thank you.
You've got an LLM to generate that song, Leo.
Well, no, I believe in humans. I bring in. We brought in a chorus to do that 6/7 song.
Organic. As a musician, I am a protein chauvinist. let the meat make the
Only
music.
Carbon-based life forms for me. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching. A special thanks to our Club Twit members who make this show possible. Yes, we have advertising. Covers about 70%, maybe 60% of our costs. In order to do these shows, we need your help. And boy, you've really stepped up, and we appreciate it. Twit.tv/ClubTwit if you're not a member. If you're not a member, you will not be able to see our coverage of WWDC tomorrow. All the keynote stuff is, I don't like paywalls, but we have to put it behind the paywall so we don't get taken down by Apple. So if you want to see it, twit.tv/ClubTwit. You also get ad-free versions of all the shows, special programming we do only for our club members, and a lot more. But mostly you get the good, warm and fuzzy feeling of knowing you're supporting independent journalism, beholden to none except you, the users, because we're all users here. Thanks, Joey, Robert, Jeff. Thanks to all of you for joining us. We will see you next time. And as I've been saying for 21 freaking years, another twit is in the can. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
This is amazing.
Doing the twit.